Shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to ACES Radio.
They're in your face, they're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, here are your hosts, Morgan Hughes, John Zadar, and Greg Benson.
Oh, yeah, baby! Ignorant sluts, shitlords, and celebrity fans alike. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, it's already too late. You're tuned in to the latest, the lamest, and possibly last episode of ACES Radio! A Buffalo Bills podcast only. Coming up tonight on the program, Cruisers FC kick off the new season in 2016 fashion with a tie against the Fire. The panel will discuss. Cracking the Code makes its triumphant return as we go full Galifo and discuss capos on top of capos on top of capos on top of capos. My God, what a treat. Man balls are back, John. Keep your penis put away. On segment 2, the rarest of rare treats as a celebrity guest unlike any other stops by the program, and I mean that as a compliment. Anthony Reynolds. We don't know him. We're not sure what he's about, but he's a crew fan, and he has something to do with beer. We'll talk about that. On segment 3, we head live on Periscope for your hot takes, a.k.a. the battle for the grand prize, and sweet Jesus, John, it's good to have Buttle Surfer back in the competition. Places 1 through places 12, separated by a few points only. Tune in for that shit. Prediction scores, prediction updates, Steve Abreu on tour, the AGS Attack War, Cruisers FC versus 1836, Houston Dynamo, and so much fucking more. Brought to you as always by benevolent corporate overlord sponsors Blood and Urine, and broadcasting from this beautiful back room here at Zalba Brewing Company. My name is continuing champion Morgan Hughes, aka number 1 Hansy Boy. And I'm joined as always by the absentee amateur artist John the Wet Boy Zadar, and Hollywood racist Gregulator 614 himself, Greg Wesley Crusher Benson. Mapaches, amigos de Guillermo, lads from different dads and brothers from different mothers. How the hell have you been?
It's been a while since I answered to Gregulator 614, actually. It feels like ancient history at this point.
Somebody just go ahead and register that account on Twitter.
You totally should, because that would be... Actually, no, please don't do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Please don't ever do that.
John Zadar, the Wet Boy, how you been, pal?
Is it still Thursday? That intro was so long.
You say that like that's not...
I just
every
feel like
week,
every
like-
week he finds some other way to drag it out.
Fan
We get it. You
fucking
love
tastic.
hearing your own voice. Jesus.
ACES Radio is one of my favorite things to do, especially when my friends make me feel like shit about myself. But save all that for the Capo talk, Greg. How dare you?
Ooh.
I can't.
That's called a teaser, is it?
I can't help but notice that you're wearing a Houston Dynamo jersey.
I am indeed wearing a Houston Dynamo
Want to talk
shirt.
to us about that?
I wore a Mexico jersey to the Dos a Cero party, so at this point, it doesn't really matter what I wear anymore.
No, but really, why are you wearing that?
I mean, it does. We all
'Cause-
appreciate when you wear clothes. Just keep doing that.
The fact that I wear clothes to begin with. Yeah, because it was either this or shirtless. And I'm no Vladimir Putin. So.
You have some sort of love affair with the city of Houston.
I
Explain
do.
yourself.
I do, actually. My dad used to take business trips to the States a lot, which is how I... Do you mind, really?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's bad, and I've been under the weather. I'm having trouble projecting my voice as it is. So...
Oh, you went to Australia. You were literally under the weather. I get it. Good joke. Let's move on.
No, I'm literally under the weather over here because fuck Ohio and not knowing what season it is.
It's been nice the last 2 days. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be 30 degrees tonight and 15 tomorrow.
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
like
Okay.
make up your goddamn mind what season. Actually, no, don't make up your mind. I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm going to Houston. Back to the story. No, my dad took a business trip to Houston when I was a teenager, and as he did on virtually every trip that he took to the States, he came back with a suitcase full of stuff for his kids. And among that stuff was some Houston Rockets gear for me, because My brother was a San Antonio Spurs fan at the time, I guess, because his name was close enough to David Robinson that was his favorite player at the time. Like, he was David Benson.
God, kids are fucking weird.
Yeah, that's 12-year-old logic, you know. So, but he came back with that, and because my brother and I have to be rivals in absolutely everything, my dad figured, he's going to like the Rockets.
That's why you picked Houston?
That's why my dad picked Houston for me, because he happened to be there, and because he wanted to feed into the whole me versus Dave thing. So sure enough, that summer the
I'm
Rockets
a big
won
Dave
the
fan.
NBA.
If I got to be honest,
Yeah, they call him the Admiral.
we do.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Admiral.
David the Admiral Benson.
Well, what happened that summer was the Rockets won the NBA title, and then they won it again the following year. So
And then what have they done since then?
absolute fuck all.
Roasted. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Cruisers FC Open 2017 in 2016 fashion, as we teased in the intro, Greg, as they say in the industry.
Indeed.
I want to go to the panel, which is the Latin term for podcast host, and start with your thoughts on the match. I go to you, Greg Benson, you racist, you Hollywood bastard, all of the bad things I hope happened to you.
Yeah.
My friend, go ahead.
Most of which have already happened, as evidenced by my voice and also my haircut. This was classic 2016 crew for me, because they did exactly the same damn thing that they did almost all of last year when they had the upper hand on an opponent. They went into the locker room at halftime having pretty much dominated the run of play. They were good value for their 1-0 lead, but we've seen this happen time and time again. The possession system that Greg Berhalter seems to favor, that works really well when you don't have a half dozen debutants in your starting 11. It works really well when you have a lead that's more than one goal. And if you don't have one of those things, you'd better have the other. Mm-hmm. And they didn't. And, of course, as a result, they let off the gas and completely let Chicago back into the game. It was interesting to see all of the action happen down at one end of the field.
Yeah.
Just because after halftime, the team switched ends and Chicago's attacking the same side that Columbus. It was two halves.
Being in Section 141, I have no complaints about action happening on one side of the field if it's that side.
I was with my kids in 132 over by the Players Tunnel, and you know, we were enjoying seeing so much of the game down our end too. So
Fort Knox area. That's right.
It kind of was. My oldest daughter, Amberly, or Arizona, as she's known to the podcast.
Yep.
Was actually happy when Chicago scored. She turned to me and said,
"What a bitch!"
And then you threw hot tar in her face.
You'll never cheer for someone else again.
Well, the thing is, my younger one, Charlotte, aka Ice T.
Yep.
She was, to give her proper
Right.
dues.
Yeah.
She was very disappointed that nobody won the game. Amberly, on the other hand, was over the moon that both teams scored. She was like, okay, both teams are going to be happy.
God, she's going to have
I'm
rude
raising,
awakening in like
so
10
I'm
more
raising,
years when she goes into life.
I'm raising one ultra and one casual, and I'm just waiting for the moment that they inevitably fight in the parking lot and the police have to come and break them up.
Well, based on my experience with you, being 100% Australian is confusing enough. Being 50% must just be living hell. John Zadar, I ask you, my friend, your impressions or thoughts of the game.
Sure. Yeah, Greg's right. It was a very 2016 type game. I thought there was a lot of bright points with certain players. Mensah looked, I thought, very good. Mm-hmm. He was doing a great job of breaking up play in the back, which and quite mobile compared to his predecessor.
Somebody else who wore number 4?
Yeah.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Fuck you.
So
Glauber.
I thought he was a good...
Glauber, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone hates him.
Yeah, he's the worst. He was good. What the fuck is our outside back's name? How do you pronounce it again?
Riatala.
Reitala?
Okay, yeah, well, that you both did different. So.
Andres Mendoza.
Yes, him. Yes. White, Waylon Francis was fantastic.
Racism.
I don't know what his name is, but I thought he looked pretty good.
Juka Riatala.
Juka Riatala. I don't know if I should
probably
trust you because
Yuka.
we all know you
It's
can't
probably
pronounce
Yuka.
shit. But
I'm one of the best talkers in the game right now.
I think it's Yuka Salavia.
Nah, that's probably it. Yeah, he looked good.
I thought he looked good. I thought Abu looked okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good from the usual guys. I felt like Higuain was a little more absent than I would have hoped to see.
I think that he spazzed out and tried so hard in the beginning of the game that he was just fucking gassed.
Yeah.
And then
I would agree with
then
that.
you have that thing where you kind of like have to be careful with Ola and take him off in like the 66th, 75th.
I would love to see this game played again with an Ola that was not coming off a concussion.
Yeah.
I think
Headband was pretty sweet though.
It was. Yeah. I think maybe he keeps that.
Yeah.
But
If he doesn't, I do.
I think him, fully fresh and in his mind space, maybe puts another one or two of those chances away that he saw. Because he was still not on the starting lineup up until like an hour before the game. So,
and he had specifically one chance in the second half where it was just him and the keeper, a little bit of space between him and I think the right center back, and it was a weird ball, but I would say you put that away.
Yeah, I'd love to see the alternate universe game where he's fresh.
At the other end, Zach Steffen played out of his head.
Yes.
Full credit to him.
He had a big save near the end.
He had a
saved the game.
Well, I mean,
or saved the draw.
Well, exactly. I mean, he Chicago, by all rights, should feel like they kind of maybe left 2 points on the table.
Yep.
Because the way that they finished that game compared to the way Columbus finished, Columbus was hanging on for dear life right up until the end. They had a couple of counters towards the end that maybe the crowd was getting into it and hoping that maybe they can. But in the back of my mind, I'm watching this thinking, I don't really know if they can pull this off. There's some tired legs out there.
Yeah,
you could tell Miram was out of juice.
Yeah, it looked like one of those games where we were going to need Justin Miram to like win it for us,
right?
And
somebody was going to have to do something stupid.
Yeah, like someone was going to have to. And at this point,
Higuain
right now, it's
off his
basically
head.
going to be. Currently, like the only person I trust to ever do that is Justin right now.
Yeah,
I mean, until we see that Higuain's actually back, and Finley had a whole year of not doing that.
Isn't it kind of one of those games though where I know because it was a draw that you can kind of both teams can look and go, man, we left some shit on the table there because Miram missed a 6-yard sitter.
Yeah,
that he rocketed directly into the new keeper's arms. Anywhere else on frame, and that is a goal.
I thought it was a game that looked exactly how you would expect the first game of the season to look.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed we didn't win. I'm always disappointed we didn't win, but I'm not upset necessarily.
Are you panicked at all? Because
no.
I know that there's a propensity to be panicked after you watch 2016 and watch us crap away so many wins and turn them into ties or a majority of the time fucking losses.
Yeah.
To watch the first game of the season end so predictably after watching last season.
I would be more concerned if there weren't 3 brand new dudes playing defense for the first time in that game.
And I mean, Scott,
4 if you count Abu as a defender.
And really the back line wasn't the issue.
No.
In the game. It was the fact that they had so many chances at the other end, didn't put the game away when perhaps they should have.
Not that Chicago didn't have a couple other good opportunities, but really the one that Akam finished was kind of lucky. I mean, I don't remember if it was Abu or Harry that slid in to try to block it.
Harrison,
and only got kind of a half a foot on it and just it wasn't
Awful got
enough.
a foot on it, and Mensah got a foot on it.
Yeah, I mean, it was very of all of the chances that I saw them get. That would not, if you just were like, here's 3 opportunities Chicago has.
Yeah.
That would not have been the one that I've been like, they scored on this one.
Well, because when Akam got the ball, he still had all the work to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he still had to bend that around.
Yeah,
I think it was
nothing to
Mensah that was.
And the
in
only
front of
reason
him.
that came to that position for him to shoot kind of on the outside there, which would be his preferred way of shooting that right-footed, was because he tried to go to the left and it kind of
it was
banged
a bad
off of Mensah's back heel and set it perfectly for him to just bend it around.
It was a series of weird mistakes. Abu gave the ball away poorly. That would be, I think, the biggest flaw in the entire sequence.
I blame Tony for that.
Harry's 5 feet tall. He's another inch tall. He stops that ball with that slide.
And he was pissed after that ball went in. You could just see him saying, like, dude, I should have had that.
Speaking of which, thank God he wasn't fucking hurt like he looked like he was earlier in that game.
He got back heel cleated by David Akam in the knee.
Yeah.
And he got taken off in a way that we were like, well, that's it for the season.
Yeah, he was standing on the sideline. And I was like,
yeah. And then the replays happened, and he's just like sprinting back on the field, like, well, I guess nothing then? Literally nothing happened?
That's that thing that I always talk about where people are like, soccer players are wusses. And I'm like, in the heat of the moment, shit fucking hurts.
Oh, sure does.
Shit fucking hurts. I'll kick you in the fucking ankle. I guarantee you're going to want to sit on the ground for a second and then give it a minute. You'll be up and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you ever had the wind knocked out of you?
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're drowning for a solid 45 seconds.
Right.
Then you're like, cool, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean you're a bitch. It
No.
means like you couldn't breathe for almost a minute.
Right. And that's just what that was. But,
Bitches.
yeah, it was a scary couple seconds there.
Yeah. Let's move on to color impressions of the match. An Aces radio staple. Greg, a tradition unlike any other, much like Script
Yes.
Ohio, ANC Buckeyes, go Bucks.
Indeed.
Buckeye guy, available for autographs, $27.50. Color impressions of the game. I go to you first, Greg. Go ahead.
My color impression is blue, not for any other team's reason, but just because that's what color my fingers were by the end of the game, because it was really fucking cold. And I can see now why you would play the opening game of the season in a warmer weather venue, as Columbus has typically done in years gone by. Yeah, I would prefer an away trip to a warmer city, which is exactly what I'm doing tomorrow.
You're going to Houston, aren't you?
I am indeed. Hence the shirt.
Are you going to be wearing that shirt from now until the game?
Ooh,
No,
this is
I will-
such a good fucking question. What jersey are you going to be wearing to the game?
I have
Comrade.
no idea yet, Morgan.
You piece of shit.
I will be.
Wait a minute.
I'll be standing in the home section with a bunch of home fans because I know a lot of people down there. So I may.
So it sounds like you'll be wearing Houston orange.
I may be.
Greg Benson
I may be.
has been deported.
A lot of people on the internet
yeah, I've been
only would call you a pussy.
I've been deported to the. Well, they can cash me outside. How about that?
Oh, God, I hate that so much.
That meme died 30 seconds after it was born.
Yeah,
Hate
it
it.
really
All right,
did.
what was your color
I just
impression,
wanted to
Blue?
see your
communist
yes. It was,
traitor. Fuck.
I prefer democratic socialist.
All right,
Morgan.
there you go. Fantastic. Greg Benson says maize and blue. John Zadar,
Mason blue.
your color impressions of Cruisers FC versus Bridgeview Fire.
Oh, man. I really don't know. I guess I'm just going to pick one arbitrarily.
right.
Red. For no particular reason.
Chicago Fire Red.
Chicago
That
Fire.
is that what
Red.
That would be.
I kept thinking, actually, I should have picked that weird blue-gray that they were wearing. I kept thinking we were playing Sporting.
I thought those jerseys, for being a Fire uniform, were actually pretty dope. But I do like to see yellow. I like to see the ketchup and mustard when Crew.
I didn't
and Fire
hate
are
them.
playing.
I kept getting confused.
Yeah.
They were
Like, is
odd.
that really that much of a clash against the yellow? I didn't think it is.
No.
Red and yellow, ketchup and mustard only. So, John, you say Chicago Fire. I'm sorry, Mafre Insurance
red. Please, thank
Yeah.
you.
not Scarlet.
Yeah.
Not the ANC
No.
Buckeyes. All right.
Morgan, what's your color impression?
Funny you should ask, Greg. I gave it a lot of thought, and I think I'm going to switch it up this week. I'm going to switch it up to
Chicago Fire gray.
Columbus Crew.
That's right, John. Yellow.
Yellow like what?
Yellow like Columbus Crew, John. Fan fuck. Hey, dude, that's the first time you've fucking done that correctly this season. Wonderful.
It's only the second time we've done it.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's literally our second episode.
I mean, technically, it's the
Third.
fourth time we did
Fourth.
it because we did
Third.
this would be the fifth time.
I don't know. I have a head full of cold meds today. I don't remember shit right now.
fantastic, John. That was great. I'm glad to have you back.
What did I do?
I don't know. Not much.
Greg's the one screaming at the audience about his cold.
Yeah.
You listen to Greg. I don't actually remember anything he's ever done on this show.
I come from a land down under.
He does say that a lot.
I do say that never.
John, what if I told you there was a cure for the scourge that is coming from the land down under?
I'm still really concerned about all these scourges.
That's right, John. They say the only cure for the scourge that is coming from the land down under is knowledge.
And now,
Whoop-de-doo.
an ACES radio exclusive,
What does it all mean, Banter?
Cracking the Code. They say it.
Everything we do is for the city.
What?
We explain it.
Who we are is for the city.
You reap the benefits.
What? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yeah!
And it's all for Columbus.
That's right, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Cracking the Code, an ACES radio exclusive. As Professional Announcer Man has told you, we do this every week, and we don't fuck it up ever. So, it's good to have this back again. John Zadar, we go to you now for your quote of the week, and let's stop for a second. Let's do a warning. We are going to talk capos for pretty much the rest of segment one. I know.
Boy.
Welcome back to Dos Acero Tifo Sweat 2013. I am your conference call from hell host, Morgan Hughes. So it's Crew opened their season at home with a tie, which means only one thing, John. The Capo debate has started up again.
Naturally.
So I want, if you...
I don't know, why does the result of a game start that?
Because it's the most effective time to use
Because
it as
any
a weapon.
excuse will do.
Yeah. So I invited Tony Galifo on tonight. He didn't respond. Maybe he has to work. I don't know. He's been kind of leading this charge. I wanted the Cracking the Code quote this week is going to come from Tony via Twitter, and I would ask you now to read it, my friend.
Okay. This quote, let's have fun, end quote, and quote, organic, end quote, bullshit has made our section look so bad in the soccer world. I won't stand for it.
There you have it.
I won't have it.
So Tony is leading the charge right now for the implementation of capos in the Nordac. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's great and that's grand. Certainly people who are familiar enough with us that they listen to ACES Radio, a tragic failure of a program, and the number 6 Buffalo Bills podcast in Central Ohio.
Oh, number 6.
Yeah, we've moved up a spot.
In Central Ohio, even.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot
Very
of Bills
location-specific.
fans here.
There's a bunch
there
in
are.
Lancaster that we, different market, Greg.
I'm sure.
Probably being 14.
Same love of putting their heads through tables and lighting each
Absolutely.
other on fire now.
Fucking hashtag Bills Mafia, dude. I say it again. So capos are being kind of... The conversation has come up again, and my issue with it, let's dive right into it. I'm not going to talk about the theory of capos because everybody knows how much I fucking hate them. My problem with this iteration of the debate is that it is not being presented with any sort of plan or any sort of reason why we need them, what it would accomplish by having them. What the success criteria will be, so that if we go, okay, it's been 6 games, the Capo, now let's compare our quote unquote results against what we said would be best case scenario. Mm-hmm. It just seems to me like the Tonys and the Jakes and everybody else who is trying to make things better, and I major props for that. You got to try new shit. Walter just fell over. They don't have a plan, and they're using a tie at home as a reason to say, we didn't up the lads hard enough, and we fucking need to up the lads harder, which means nothing. Your thoughts?
Are you going to me or Greg first?
Yeah,
I thought we were going
Okay, that's fine.
I distinctly heard
I think
your name.
everybody knows how I feel about this. You guys may want to believe that cheering really loud makes professional athletes want to do their job better, but I'm sorry, you're mistaken.
Mm-hmm. And why do you say that?
Why do I say that?
Because logic would
it's
tell
a
you, John,
ludicrous
that if you
suggestion.
scream louder, somebody's going to be better at their job, right?
Well, nobody yells at me, and I still do a pretty bang-up job at my office every day.
All right, so devil's advocate, you're not a soccer player.
I'm a competitor, and I want to be good at what I do.
It's funny you should bring that up, John, because
I also am a soccer player, just not professional.
So ESPN did their just released their annual anonymous player poll, right? They do it every year. This year, 140 players took part, representing 21 of the league's 22 clubs, sans New York City FC. They declined to participate. And one of the questions was, what is the best thing about being an MLS player? Now, this is as close to does upping the lads fucking matter that you can get in a player survey. So the highest answer, the highest what am I trying to say? The most common answer was getting paid to play soccer at 24%.
Sure.
Living in the United States and Canada was 22%. Being part of the MLS growth was 13%. Lifestyle and schedule, 9%. League infrastructure, 8%. Playing in my hometown, 4%. Then fans, also at 4%. So if we are to think
Was a lot of? I noticed when I was reading that there was also other category that typically was higher but still listed last. Is that the case here too?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What's other? What was other?
Oh, I have no idea.
But what's the percentage for other?
I didn't. I took a
there's not.
screenshot of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's 2% playing in the
Typically
US top
in
league.
those categories there was also other, and it was
Yeah.
like still last, but a lot of the times it was like 10% or something.
Let's see,
I was just curious.
That's actually a really good point. I should have
'Cause that would be-
I should have screenshotted the.
That would have been
entire
another
fucking
thing that was still above
Yeah.
fans, but
Right. Oh yeah. Okay.
that's
so,
the only reason I'm asking.
So fans are 4%, and if we are to believe that this is representative of players as a whole, this is as close as we're getting to to a concrete answer to, does upping the fucking lads matter? And only 4% say that it's their preferred benefit of playing soccer in America.
Two quick points about that. There is a question in that regarding atmosphere at a later point. I'm
Right.
guessing. Did you screenshot that one also?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But it's up in Portland and fucking Seattle.
Right. And I would the point I was going to make off of that was the quotes that they had after it, I thought were telling in that it had nothing to do with I feel intimidated.
Right.
It's hard to communicate.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of noise.
Well, they also said that the some of the venues the fans were very close to the field.
Sure.
They didn't necessarily say they were doing chants that made us intimidated.
Right. Exactly. That's what was my point.
It just seemed small.
They weren't scared. No one was scared of their tifos.
Right.
No one was afraid of the words you were yelling at them.
Yeah.
It just was hard to communicate because there was a lot of noise, which is an advantage.
Sure.
But let me tell you what. Your team is also having a difficulty communicating because you're being so fucking loud.
Good point.
So
It's the old
That
Army
isn't
saying,
really-
if the enemy's in range, so are you.
yes, that's not really a benefit. So if that's the only thing that they're saying is a pain in the dick about the fans, then I think that kind of goes to prove my point. The other thing I was going to say is just because it says 4% fans doesn't mean that is a vote for the atmosphere that those fans provide. That 4% could be
interacting with fans outside.
saying,
of the game.
okay, I've got to go to these other events where I meet fans.
I met my
They've
wife
been
that
really
way.
friendly. Yeah, I met my wife, my girlfriend that way.
My slut whore Pam girlfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's a bitch. Everyone hates her.
Everyone hates her.
She burns pizza.
I mean, it could literally be
Sleep with Chris
anything.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, who knows?
Yeah.
It could literally all those votes could have literally only come from, for all we know, players who have played abroad and are simply saying, "I like these people over here more than those shitbags over there."
Right.
Like it could be fucking anything. So that's only 4%, which is not impressive. And when you take into consideration what that could potentially mean, I think it's even less impressive.
And it's certainly not the only. That is not like the death of the conversation. Of course, Greg, I'll go to you now.
Sure.
But the important part, back to Tony's comment, and again, we're not shitting on Tony, right? I think
No.
he's actually handling this as good as I've seen him handle a project before, which is awesome. Good for him, dude. Like, he's taking people's advice and like he's trying to get input, and I respect the shit out of him for that. But when he said something like, "We've been the joke of the league,"
yeah.
it makes me think that this isn't about cheering on the crew or anything to do with the crew at all. It has to do with gaining this hypothetical respect of these people around the league that may or may not exist. And why would we do something, Greg, so drastic to gain the respect of people that we don't even fucking care about?
And that leads perfectly into what I was going to say, because what this is, as far as I can tell, is there's two ways of looking at this. Now, you can have a capo to bring, and I know this from having been at a Sydney FC game a couple of weeks ago. They have capos. The reason they do that is in order to get everybody doing the same stuff, engage the whole stadium, not just the supporters section, because they have the bullhorns, the megaphones, whatever. They call out to the other sections. They do stuff that keeps the entire stadium all on the same page, and that sounds better. And it sounds nice, and it makes you feel good about being part of that experience. That's fine. If that's your only motivation, it's because I like joining in, the singing, the chanting, the clapping, all of that sort of stuff. And I like it better when the entire stadium is doing it as one rather than a whole bunch of splintered off, we have no idea what we're doing.
It creates buy-in from fans in other section. Maybe they become season ticket holders if they're there for the first time. That's a reason to do it.
Exactly. That's a good reason. The idea of doing this because, as you said, we want to earn the respect of
Real
people
Salt Lake fans.
Right, exactly. Now, we've spoken to Real Salt Lake fans. We know fans of a lot of other teams, if not most of them. And on an individual level, they're fine. And I don't think that we're really sitting at home worried about, do these guys really respect the support of the Columbus crew?
Oh my God, I couldn't care.
Because if we are thinking that, you guys go knock yourselves out, because I do not give 12 shits about it. These guys are supposed to be our rivals. And I realize the irony of saying that while wearing a rival team's jersey, but...
Very funny.
Yeah, right. But I also understand that this is not... Where's your motivation? Is your motivation to make something work better? Morgan, we were talking about this off the air. Are you invested in how something operates, or are you invested in how something looks to the rest of the world? If you're doing it to peacock and pose and make yourselves look better to everybody else, fucking, I don't care.
I think that's my main issue with it is that, for those of you that don't know Tony, he does enjoy and idolize the culture of, like Serie A and fan bases like Inter Milan and AC Milan, those kinds of places, and that's great. Mm-hmm. And what those people do, Dortmund, the wall or whatever it's called, is certainly impressive. But I think that you're making a good point in that, the culture and the whole concept and idea behind those groups and those efforts is this theory that we are helping the team win the game, and that is why we are doing it. Mm-hmm. And while I disagree with that, if that's really what you believe, which I have been led to, to believe is the case, mm-hmm. then this nonsense of we're the joke of the rest of the league should really be completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter what other people think.
I guarantee
you should be executing your efforts, whether they be tifo, songs, whatever, to the best of your ability to help your team win these games.
I guarantee you there isn't a single Dortmund fan that gives a shit about how Bayern Munich fans feel about their support.
Sure.
Like if somebody from Michigan walked up and they're like, "Oh, we think you're a bad fan in Columbus. Everybody in Ann Arbor hates you." Like, okay.
Yeah. Like, we know. We get it.
Right.
We
fantastic.
understand
That would actually be the preferred outcome.
Yeah.
I don't want you to like me.
Oh, no.
Right.
I don't want you to like me.
What?
I
Well,
guess.
right, but we're going for this, and again, it's something that we've talked about time and time again. Whose respect are we really trying to earn? These are the same supporter groups, especially from the newer teams like the Orlandos and the New York Cities and the Atlantas, that we're like, fuck these guys. What have they got? They've got no history. They've got no culture. They've got nothing to draw from.
Right.
And yet now we want to be like, oh, we've got to set a good example for them, or we've got to make them respect us. We have to impress them.
The Iron Lion firm.
No.
And it's funny how this conversation has come up more and more often the more new franchises come in that up the lads really super fucking hard.
Because as you've said time and time again, it's cosplay. Yep. They're dressing up as these fans from Europe. They're not imitating them out of a true desire to show support for the team. They're doing it because that's their idea of what a true soccer fan should look like.
It's not a fair comparison to put us up against those places.
Of course it's not.
I think it should be blatantly obvious at this point that you could slap an MLS team in any goddamn city you want, and it's going to fucking sell itself.
Of course.
Right off the bat.
Especially if it's the new kid in town,
right,
as we've seen.
And that's what I'm saying.
Time and time again.
If that was not the case, we would have inevitably had a expansion team that wasn't horrendously successful.
Yeah.
At this point, and we haven't. We just haven't.
You know,
every single one has sold fantastically.
You know, LAFC is going to do the same next year. You know, Cincinnati's going to do the same when they come on board eventually. You know, Sacramento will do it. You know, name an expansion city. Name the next 10 expansion cities.
Right.
They're all going to be lads.
They're all going to be,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be a constant trying to one-up
The
each
Iceland
other.
clap will be very impressive.
The Iceland clap.
Oh my God.
Right up until the point when Atlanta fans start to feel like we do, maybe. Like, well, geez, these new guys they're doing it the right way. Why aren't we doing? What happened to our support? What happened to
the right and wrong
unity that we had?
Greg and I were saying before the show, like my main issue with this whole conversation is it seems to come from a place of assigning right and wrong to emotions, which you cannot fucking do.
Yeah.
You're not wrong because you're angry, and you're not right because you're happy. That's just not how emotions work. But the main point above all of this Capo talk that I want to make is about this survey that Tony sent out. Now, it was it was called a petition, right? But it was a survey, and Darby, if you want to jump on mic too, because I know that you're a survey guy. Like as a professional, I'll just go ahead and unmute channel. Ooh, that's some loud hissing.
Nice.
What if I told you that we were going to unmute
Snake in
channel
here?
2?
Darby Schnarfus, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that's louder than what
Go
the
Slytherin.
the VAT thing was last week, whatever noisemaker we had.
So I responded to some thing about a capo that Tony put on Twitter on Sunday night, and I said, okay, here is how you're going to manage this project if it's going to be successful. And I laid out a bunch of stuff, and I'm just trying to help, and I'm not. I like Tony. We're friends. I'm just trying to help him make his project successful. If it's for the benefit of crew fandom, then I'm all about it. So good on him. He tries to make this survey, but he calls it a goddamn petition, which it wasn't. So this inherently implies that only people that want this thing are going to take part in it. Because if you don't want capos, you're not going to fucking sign a petition for capos, right? So you get into this thing, and it's actually a survey, right? And so the question one is, do you want capos, yes or no? Right? And then so question two is like, if you answered yes, what do you want capos to use? Question one was required. Question two is required. So if you answered no to one, you have to answer two. And it's just like, okay, well, this petition that's really a survey is kind of fucked. And I told him, like, dude, there's nothing wrong.
I'm sensing bias here.
There's nothing wrong with screwing something up. I screw stuff up on an hourly basis. What you do have to be good at is saying, my bad, I'm going to do better next time, and then actually doing better next time.
Right. There's a reason there's an entire industry about polling. It's a hard subject.
Right.
You have to be able to present these questions without leading people to answers.
Yeah. And in my mind,
it's not easy.
The results of this survey petition are completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant, but only from a data perspective. And I'm not talking about fucking capos right now. I'm talking about data. If we're using this as a reason to get into a project, Arby, the data has to be reliable. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the sort of thing that can make or break your argument, right? I mean, surveys are the sorts of things that policy gets made by. When you go out and you survey the right people asking the right questions, it's a really powerful tool. But if you kind of throw things together quickly and you don't distribute it well and you're leading people into responses and stuff doesn't make sense, then people look at that and they say, oh, well, great, this doesn't really say anything. Even, when you're starting off with the second question being one that doesn't apply to at least a quarter of the people who've responded so far, somebody's going to look at that and go, okay, how much can I trust everything that comes after this? Because you've already screwed up at this point.
Right.
I mean, you have to be able to, not just distribute it on Reddit, but like really get out there and not ask people for personally identifying information if that's a thing on your survey.
Like your season ticket holder number.
Right.
Tony, what are you doing?
And even at that, adding that in sort of implies that the response of a season ticket member carries more weight than anybody else who's responding to your survey. I mean, you want to get responses from crew fans here, but don't you need the opinion of the person who comes to 3 or 4 games a year just as much as you need the season ticket member?
Exactly. And this is, I mean, I could see how someone might say we're being overly critical of someone who's just trying to help and doesn't really know, a whole lot about taking polls and whatnot. But I would say that this is an important thing to be critical of because it is something that could potentially change the match day experience of a lot of people in a way that they may not want.
This affects people outside of the Nordic as well. And I remind everybody that we are the only team in the league that doesn't have capos. And we have a long history of...
Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're the last bastion of freedom. That's just my opinion, John.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate here for just a second and say if the only reason that you're doing something a certain way is because you've always done it a certain way, it's a shitty reason.
Totally fair.
Sure.
Totally
I
fair.
agree.
But this also is an opportunity, right? So if this thing happens and it's poorly researched in advance and it flops after 3 months, 6 months, and I'm not wishing that on the whole thing.
Right.
If it does, then you might have shot your opportunity for now on.
Sure.
So do it right the first time. Take some time.
Look at
like
Clinton.
you said, putting together a plan is key.
Yes.
This is a big deal.
It is.
If this would happen, this
bloody
would be
big deal.
Big thing. So you can't make it up as you go. You just can't. You've got to have all of your ducks in a row, Morgan.
Yeah.
in order to make things happen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll just leave that to
He'll
John.
get there
and I.
eventually. Give him a second.
Yeah.
He's trying desperately.
There
There
it
he
is.
goes.
Nothing's alphabetized anymore.
Only took from the time of the joke to the actual drop to 30 seconds, 45 seconds maybe. Oh, okay.
There it is.
No, that's a great point. I mean, if this is your one and only shot and you execute it poorly,
Hell yeah.
You got
That's
nobody to
Then the
blame but yourself.
pushback from the corner and crew fans in general is going to get to the point where you're never going to have this, because if you tried it again, people will go, well, look what
Right.
happened the first time.
well,
Yeah.
and I don't want to like jump to a completely different part of the argument here, but was there any? I didn't take the survey. I didn't even look at it.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Was there any? I guess maybe not, because this isn't really a question, but we have some people who kind of play Capo now.
Yeah.
Were those people referenced at all? And was there any insinuation of what would be different between those people that do it now and what?
Your Andy Hubbards, your Jordan Kennedys, your John
Yes.
Lavelle's,
Yeah,
your
the
Morgan
handful of
Hugheses,
people
your
who
John
do it.
Zidars, your John Clems, all of the celebrity fans. John.
You're that one guy over in the other section
Yeah.
who
Yeah, I mean,
has a
there-
voice that I have no idea how you get that loud.
You know, there are a handful or so of people that.
Hey,
do
that's a valid fucking
similar
question.
stuff.
Right.
What is going to be the difference? I mean,
Scaffolding.
They stand up on the top of the bleachers, so they're above everyone else.
Yep.
They do their hand motions. They have their, points of contact in other sections that they look to try to unify. I'm just curious if that was covered at all.
I don't think it was. It was more of a gathering of ideas and opinions. But the key thing that I'd like to see in this, and I'm just one fucking guy, and if everybody else wants to go in one direction, I'm certainly not going to make a fucking stink over it. Whatever. That's democracy, I guess. But what I want to see is, okay, you want capos to happen. Why? What is happening, or what has happened that makes you believe that capos are the solution? And what does the solution look like? What are the success criteria? I know I'm being fucking overly businessman about this, but this is a really important thing to our, soccer culture here in Columbus, Ohio. So I don't think I'm out of line by asking for, okay, who is going to be involved? Who are these people? How long have they committed to this project? What roles are they playing? What is going to be the success criteria? When we go back 5 months from now and we go, okay, we've had 12 games with capos, I'd like to, in some way, be able to address whether or not it's been successful.
Right.
And
And
when
are you
you-
going to sit down with a tape of pre-capo and post-capo
Right.
and take audio levels?
I don't fucking know, but if upping the lads is a goddamn variable that you're going to judge shit on, which it seems to me like it's going to be, we're installing people to be in charge of other people based on fucking emotions, and you can't do that. It's reckless, and it'll make sure that your project fails. By the way,
Yeah, well, any other group that comes to the front office is going to come with a plan. So if it's Raising Cane's saying we want to do a giveaway, right? Like if you score a goal or whatever, they come in with a plan and they're like, here's what we anticipate, here's what it's going to cost you, here's what it's going to cost us, here's what the benefit is to all parties involved.
Right.
You got to come like any other entity looking to do business with the front office.
I mean, that's a good point. There's things to think about here that maybe haven't even been considered by the people running it. I mean, those guys are going to, I assume that this is one of the plans. There's going to be a capo stand, which means that there are going to be more than one person per game now that are going to be field side during the game.
There's probably some sort
There's
of
a security thing,
issues.
insurance of some kind. You have to get these people cleared. There's to be a trust relationship established with these people. No offense, Tony, you haven't exactly proven yourself to be someone who could be trusted.
That's fair.
I'm not, I'm just saying based on past behavior. Are you one of the candidates for this? If so, how are you going to assure you're leading the charge? How are you going to assure these people that you've whatever the word is, let down in the past, that is not going to happen again? And how can you vouch for your compatriots?
and who are they?
And yeah,
Right.
So let's do this.
And
Let's go
so-
around
go ahead.
and everybody can have their closing arguments about capos because we got to do man balls. And Jesus tits, do I have to piss? Greg, start with you, then Darby, and we'll go John and myself, and we'll call this a day.
Well, other than everything that I've already covered, and this is something that's come up as part of the capo argument before, this is something that I would hope that if there's a plan in place that doesn't come up again, or that at least is squashed again, and that's where the hell do you get off telling us how to cheer? Which is a very real sentiment that I think a lot of fans do feel and would feel about anybody who's standing up there on the Capo stand, because there's a lot of individual exceptionalism that goes on in this fan base, which is that where the hell do you get off? That's, who are you? Why should I listen to you? Why do you think we have so many different supporter groups? It's because I've got my own ideas and I want to take it in my own direction. And that's totally fair. Now, I'm not saying that multiple supporter groups or anything like that is a bad thing. I'm saying that if somebody comes up with a plan that this is how we're going to make Capos work and this is how it's going to improve the game day experience, that everyone swallows their pride for just long enough to go, okay, you've obviously thought this through. You've got a plan in place. Put it in place and we'll be on board. That's what I would hope would happen.
Yep. Darby.
Well, okay. So as a West Side casual, this conversation affects me a little less as I understand it to be, because there's not going to be somebody standing in front of me telling me how to cheer. That being said, it's not like we do a bad job as it is. Even on the other side of the stadium, I can hear what's going on. I can join in if I want to. It's nice that I don't have to follow the person in front of me. Alex and I were talking, what happens in a breakaway? You're in the middle of a well-coordinated chant.
Yeah, we stopped cheering.
And the team, breaks towards goal. Is the person in charge going to be mad because you start yelling and lose the chant? I just don't see that there being a lot of upside to this. I don't think you can't force voice. You can't force people to cheer more. Even if you've got somebody standing in front of you, there's somebody in the Nordeck who wants to drink beer and talk with their friends. They're going to fucking do it.
Yep.
The guy with the megaphone isn't going to change that.
And it's not inherently wrong to do that.
Right.
And you can't fucking kick him out. You can't be like, now that I have a megaphone, you got to go because this is
You're not upping the
hardcore
line.
rough
Right,
lads only.
that's the thing. Should this take place, you are given what would it be? I guess a bit of control over the section, but you have no authority over the section. They're different things, and you have to be able to recognize that.
Yeah.
John, your final thoughts.
Which again leads back to my point very quickly about I hope that everybody else would see it that way too.
Yes.
That these guys they're not your overlords.
Right.
They're your they're just the guys with the bullhorns that have the personality and the
They're suggestions, not commands.
Exactly.
I mean, that's basically what I'm going to say is, I've said multiple times I don't particularly care for the cheering. I maybe do it half the game, if that. I will not change my behavior should there be Tony or someone else standing in front of me with a megaphone. And I will not be the only one. So, when you're standing up there on your Capo stand with your megaphone and you look out and only see maybe 50% participation, are you going to lose your shit? What are you going to do? I mean, keep doing your job, I would hope.
You're going to fight out back behind the
the B-dubs. Meet me behind the Buffalo Wild Wings.
John Zara will be there all day.
I'm always there waiting.
Yeah,
I'm just eating wings.
Not any specific B-dubs.
No.
The B-dubs.
Just the B-dubs.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. The fighting one.
I just think that that's something that should be kept in the back of everyone's mind.
Yeah.
As this takes place, is that not every... I'm kind of repeating what you guys both said, but...
We're all unoriginal bastards. We're just parrots.
I mean, I'm not moving anywhere.
Truth.
So, I don't like the chant. I don't particularly care for the chanting. If we never chanted again, I wouldn't really give a shit. But I'm not going anywhere. I enjoy the flags and I enjoy making tifo, and that's the section for that. And it's also the section all my friends are in.
Yep.
So that alone
enough.
will keep me there.
Good point, John. Having fun is never the wrong answer.
Yes.
There's no one reason that unique that will apply to all humans in that stadium, and everybody comes there for slightly different reasons. My closing argument, counsel, will be that listen, we're all here for the same reasons. This is not an episode of The Bachelorette soccer style. There aren't people
Are you sure
here
about that?
that are here for their own reasons, even though supporter fucking wars tend to be finger pointing and and finger wagging and going, "You're not here for the right reasons. You're not here for Brad. You're here for just to be on TV."
Is his name Nick this season or something?
Nick, yeah, sorry.
I
my
kind of
bad.
know a lot
Yeah.
about it now.
Yeah. I will
Delete
say
your
this.
account.
Now,
I would love to.
Who are you people?
I'm sorry. You blame
love
girl.
that. I
Welcome
know.
to ACES Radio, a bachelorette podcast.
I would not be against that changing format at all. I will say this: if we are to put up capo stands, and may the will of the people be exercised. So if that's what they want, I hope it happens. We are involving the front office in our passion, and the first day that capo stand goes up is the first day that the front office then has the ability to have approved and not approved chants, right? So,
if you don't think they will take those things away as punishment,
yeah,
you're fucking
Dude,
out of your man.
I
out
love
of your
Clark.
mind.
or take away the right to be that person.
yeah,
That's
If it
that
comes
too.
down to
Yeah,
it.
I love
mean,
Clark. I
you're-
love Lambeau. I love Phil Goldfarb, Erica Kress, and everybody in between. But this is a business, and MLS fines teams every time that swearing is on television. If you don't think they're going to exercise this outlet to not get fined, you're crazy, because that affects the bottom line. So you are making a approved and not an unapproved section of feelings and of chants. Are you willing to put up with the backlash that comes with that, and what is going to happen when you have to?
A quick aside to that is that being in 132, we were in direct earshot of the Nordeca on Saturday. And there were one or two chants that I did have to explain to my kids at some adult words that I'm not going to say around you, and I don't want you saying
We do
either.
that.
And if a capo's involved in that, you better believe there's going to be a lot more parents having to
Yeah,
answer
that's
those
all I can
questions.
think now. Every time we do some stupid chant with a curse word in it. I mean, I'm all for cursing. I do it all the time. But
Yep.
Fucking
all
us.
I can think, and I said it. I said it to Taylor when we were doing it on Saturday. I was like, "There goes $1,000. There goes $1,000. There goes $1,000."
Yeah, if it's picked up by television.
because that's what it is. We are on Twitter whining and bitching about not getting the designated players we want or whatever, and then on Saturday we're walking into that stadium and lighting money on fire.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
And
No,
also, when
you're-
you're saying
you're
that
absolutely right.
we sounded like shit, are you basing that on the television, what you're hearing over TV? Because
Right.
that
the
has
microphones that they control and
Uh-huh.
up and down the volume and point at different places.
I'll tell
as
you
they
what,
see
dude.
fit.
First half of last week, Nordic sound fucking great. It was the best we've ever sounded outside of the Montreal second leg. We sounded great. Second half, guess what? Chicago tied it up. We weren't as excited about
Yeah.
fucking singing, because
Yeah.
that's how humanity fucking works.
Right.
We respond situationally.
Jesus Christ! So
Yeah.
we have to move on. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we could talk.
Just real quick, I would encourage everyone to go read the exchange between Tony and Roger.
Yeah,
I think they
it's-
both made some good points.
They did.
I think they both were good advocates for the two sides.
Yeah.
Just to get some voices and some outlook from not the four of us.
That's a fantastic way to put a bow on this portion of the segment, John, and that is by saying that both sides have good points. We're not trying to kill each other. There's no supporter drama here unless somebody brings it in from outside of the conversation. So don't do that. And also,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
moving the fuck on to Man Balls of the Week, an Aces radio tradition unlike any other, much like Script Ohio of the ANC, Buckeyes, Gregulator 614,
Yes, sir.
Hollywood Racist. If you're sitting in a chair, Greg needs to sit there. He's got a button. He needs to use it. I go to you first. Your two Man Balls of the Week, my friend.
My first man ball of the week goes to Justin Miram because I thought that he, out of all of the crew players that I observed, put in, I would say, the most effort.
Yep.
I he, even as I've already alluded to, in the later stages of the game when the crew was trying to go back down the field and try and steal the win back.
Yep.
He was front and center to that. He was up there. He plays a very good two-way game, and he did it again on Saturday. And he provided the assist on Finley's goal.
Great ball to Ethan Finley.
Yeah, it was
Who is
a
my
hell of a
life.
cross.
Yep.
Was a hell of a cross. My second
Great
man.
finish by Ethan, by the way.
It
for a quick
was,
point.
actually.
It was not an easy header.
No, definitely not.
He's
And
a
I-
beast in the air.
It was one of those where two crew players both went for it, and they could very well have gotten to each other's way. So, Good on Justin Merrim. Congratulations.
And good on Ethan Finley again for filling space, more importantly, because there was some space there that, who says that ball gets to Ola? He was there, but, that space isn't filled by Ethan. It might be filled by a defender. So back
Very
to you,
true.
Greg.
Very true. Second man ball goes to Sydney FC striker Bobo, who had yet another goal.
Bobo.
Who, yes, had yet another goal in the 1-0 win over the Melbourne Victory on Saturday. Or last Saturday. No, it was Friday, actually.
Recipient, second only to Andres Mendoza of man balls.
Yes, indeed. I think actually Bobo might be winning the man balls.
Is choking to
standing. It was our first ever 3-game clean sweep over Melbourne Victory.
Oh, really?
Which is they call the games the Big Blue.
Do they have to change their name or delete their account?
Well, yeah, it's the Melbourne Loss now.
Roasted. I don't know. They come back for that.
They don't. That's exactly how they don't.
Fucking tastic. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Ritalin addict Mike Burkle.
Mike
just
Burkle.
scurried
What?
in.
Are there,
Not a
are there
person I
girlfriends somewhere
expected
you need
to
to be having
see.
sex with? What's happening here? ACES Radio legend. Welcome back, Season 1 guest, Mike Burkle to the program. Wonderful.
Wow.
John Zadar, I go to you next.
This is an unexpected surprise.
Yeah, you're man balls of the week, my friend. And he's out.
And he's gone.
And just like that.
He just came in and rubbed his whatever STDs all over our hands.
He
and then
came and
walked
went,
out.
just like Chris Doran.
Ugh. Oh, they smell sour.
Roasted.
Man balls. Justin Merrim, without a doubt. One of the best players on the team last year, and looks like he's going to be doing something similar this year. So hard to deny him. And he just got a contract extension today. I don't know if that's a tease.
It is not.
But because I didn't see it on your sheets. But there's
It was
that.
not in the liner
I didn't
notes.
think it was. Multi-year extension. That sounds good to me.
He tweeted at me on Twitter today.
He
That was
did
great.
at the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Big fan of Justin Merrim.
And then my other one, I think, would go to Mensa, because I think he was probably my second best player for the Crew, other than the goal, which was unfortunate. But I thought outside of that one instance, he was playing very well. I was quite impressed with his defensive work, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that.
All right, second man ball of the program to Justin Merrim. Finally 2 balls after all these years. Fantastic. Good for you, pal. My first man ball of the week, John, will go to Scott Sedley of Twitter and Big Soccer. It is his 40th birthday on Saturday. It's about
I didn't know
goddamn-
you were older than him.
That's very funny. Very funny. Pam's cracking up.
I don't know how Morgan comes back from that.
Pretty easily.
Slowly, actually. That's how I
Very
feel.
carefully.
Yeah.
I don't
On a
wanna move
hover
too quick.
round.
Yeah.
That's how he gets back.
Yeah. I'm going to give away 3 man balls if you guys don't mind tonight.
What?
It's the first time I haven't been in first place in the
So
prediction
what?
contest, so I feel like I'd gotta
Neither
go out
of
in
us were in
style.
first place the entire
My
season.
second of 3 goes out to none other than Andres Mendoza of Columbus Cruisers FC for being possibly the greatest player
Your
in
second of
franchise
3?
history. Yes.
My second
Who was
3.
your first one?
Scott Sedley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So my third
He's
man
so
ball.
forgettable.
Who's your third 3?
My third man ball goes out to absolutely every single person that has been in the Nordaca since 2008 that has made that place fucking great. And my favorite place on earth without a capo. This is
Where's
the
your
part,
favorite place on earth with a capo?
Okay, I said that sounds very poorly. It's my favorite place on earth, and it doesn't have a capo. Is that better, John?
Seattle, isn't it? It's totally Seattle.
Fight and win, boys. Come on, you lads. Some of the most enjoyable moments of my life have happened in that section. I met my slut girlfriend in that section. I spend every weekend with the people I love in that section, and I feel like we up the lads pretty well. I feel like everybody who's done their part over the years, regardless of whether you like me or us or not, you helped make that section what it is. And if we are indeed moving in a different direction with people on risers and scaffolding telling us what to say and when to say it, so be it. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody that has helped make that place my favorite place on planet Earth. John Zadar, your thoughts?
I already gave my man balls. That was very touching.
It's been an honor to stand beside you in that section and
made
make
my
several
heart
slut
feel
girlfriends
things.
too, Morgan.
Indeed.
Several slut girlfriends. Is that what you said?
That sounds like the outro music.
This outro music goes
I
on
have
for
no
like 5
time
minutes.
to elaborate on my
ain't
thoughts.
nobody got time for that, Greg.
We have tons of time. Greg, go ahead.
No, by all means. That's all
son
you.
Of a bitch. If you've enjoyed this shit lordery of segment 1, I almost said section 141. I've got some great news for you, America. We're coming back The guest of the week isn't here yet. Maybe he's not showing up. We have no idea, but that's what you've come to expect. You're listening to ACES Radio.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Now we blasting off into the ozone. The way we kick it in the dojo is local for show. Though we paving the road that's opposed to the dodo. Going over your head like a top hat. Stop that. I know you hear me spitting these hot raps. Now watch that beat, cause it's about to drop. The Rockets is the 09 jump off. Yeah, your last name Pan, first name Peter. I know you see me playing and you want me to teach you, but I say elevated so that all God's creatures can hear me shout it out like my name is Aretha. Getting RESPECT. Fly by, see the looks on your faces, cause I'm in full EFFECT. Jet setting on a daily basis. David F, man, you don't stop. David, you won't stop. He came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah, I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all the people in coach, yeah. And to my first class folks, yeah. We'll show you how to scrape the sky. Yeah. As the curvature of the earth takes shape, fly fast forward like a videotape and no cape. Just follow my jet stream, proud in the clouds on the boom in your precinct. I'll have no trampoline, black box in the pocket of my jet jeans. Shine with the stars so bright, even NYC sees me. Get that?
Oh, yeah! Bitches and Walter and Kyle and all the other animals from the magical kingdom of outside my apartment that are here on ACES Radio Segment 2. We thank you for joining us. What a rare goddamn treat. Don't put the goddamn Kyle possum in my trophy. Anthony Precourt gave that to me. Ah, John, you dirtbag. Brought to you as always by benevolent corporate overlord sponsors Blood and Urine and Broadcasting live from the back room here at Zauber Brewing Company. My name is Morgan Hughes. I want to thank Darby Schnarfus for joining us on Segment 1. He may be back for Segment 3. In the meantime, Greg, it's time to deal with Segment 2.
Yes.
And I can't believe it's taken us... What episode is this, 37?
30. Is it 37?
I don't know. You numbered last week
37?
incorrectly, so who
In
even
a row?
knows?
Shut up, John. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Does that count the
Season
training
2,
video?
episode 3.
Yeah, it's something.
2.3, right?
The point being, I cannot believe it took us this long to have a guest not show up. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that were expecting celebrity fan Anthony Reynolds, we have some bad news for you. He just did not come.
Yeah.
Great time. So, Greg, how's it going?
It's going good. Chris Doran did, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people saying he's pretty reliable.
He is.
Hey, we got Tyler from GCG back walking up to the microphone. Hey, all right. John, I went ahead and unmuted Channel 2 just in case you were wondering. Welcome, Tyler from GCG Bag TV.
Hello.
Going to want to turn that microphone.
I know how to work
Yeah,
these
for a
things.
guy that's a TV host, you sure don't know how to work microphones.
Yeah, the audio is really bad from my drunken interviews because I didn't know where to hold it.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about,
That was the reason.
We are referencing Drunken Cruiser, the first episode of GCG Bag TV, which debuted the day after the opening home match against Bridgeview. And frankly, I just want to say great job.
Thank you.
You did a hell of a job. Like, even though John Zadar was in it, I really don't like that guy.
As much as I hate this joke, a lot of people were saying I was the best part.
I didn't really hear that, and I've had my ear to the streets for a long time. So I enjoyed it. Yvonne Seagull was in it.
Yeah, too bad she's not here rapping tonight.
How did it, like? How was? Are you going to have? What do we have in store for the next GCG Bag television?
So for away games, we're actually going to do something a little bit different from post-game interviews. We've, got a take on the Capo action that's going on here in the Nordeca.
What?
Are you allowed to? I thought you had to be a supporters group for 3 years before you voiced your opinions on that.
Yeah, this is why we're just doing it in video form so
right.
that you can look back at it later.
When you expand in 6 months.
We're just training for 3 years from now.
Now, I heard a dirty rumor on the internet that the sponsor glass pane that you had was blown over by the wind at Mafre Stadium and broken. Confirm or deny?
Yes, that is true. It bit the dust.
There are 3 of them.
Yeah, and it actually, they tried to hold it up even more, and then it, just came off the hinges.
Okay, so this is actually a good transition from segment 1 where we talked about upping the lads. I heard a dirty rumor as well that you were yelled at when you were leaving in the 90th minute to go set up said camera equipment for GCG Bag Television. Someone was telling you that you weren't upping the lads hard enough. Back to you.
They weren't appreciative of me leaving early. I was not a lad enough for them.
I love the assumption that you're just like giving up on the team and not that like you have a family emergency or
Like you're fucking
anything
come on, I was
else that
taking a
could
piss, like-
necessitate you leaving.
We're going to
early,
ask
like-
you absolutely no questions.
I love
We're
the
just gonna
concept
assume.
of
Fuck you
some
for
drunk,
leaving.
half-drunk dude. Fuck you! Why are you leaving? And you're just going, my mother's dying.
Yeah. And also, I'm not like Will Trapp.
Right.
I'm not on the field. It doesn't matter if I'm fucking here or not.
Yeah.
Jesus tits. Well, great job. GCG Bag Television let us down, but you tried, so that's important, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be better at interviewing people next
You
time.
really should.
Maybe you should just set it up at advance.
Yeah, get the questions ready before the parking lot.
Right. Just a thought.
No, dude, no.
I mean, actually, I liked
take a
that
leaf.
part of it.
Yeah.
Take a leaf from Murderer's Row's book
Right.
and just go now.
They're already
Next,
there.
next home game's not for another 2 weeks after Saturday. Doesn't matter. Go now.
Yeah.
Have you had a good response to it?
Yeah, I don't know. People on Reddit seem to up it.
I don't know if I trust those folks.
How many upvotes did you receive?
I don't actually know because I just joined Reddit yesterday.
More than AGS attack, though,
Yeah.
so that's good.
I'll have you know that the Aces Radio hot take thread today had 62% upvotes.
Percent?
Yeah, it's not very good.
What's it out of 100%? I didn't think it
mean,
was a
yes.
percentage. I thought it was just like you got these many votes.
How many percentage did you
or
think
you
it was
didn't?
Out of 68%?
I didn't think it was a percent at all.
I don't know how John Zedar comes back from that, Greg. He's very bad at math. Back to you.
Morgan doesn't know how numbers work either.
Yeah. I want to thank GCG Bag Tyler for stopping by the program. You are
Get out of here.
Anyways,
what a rare fucking treat. We ask Mike Burkle to join us now, if you would. I want to talk to Mike.
This is a rare
Desperately
treat because
shoving more Ritalin in his mouth.
Yeah.
this is a rare treat because Mike Burkle is not local.
You don't know me.
I do.
Shit.
Mike,
I've been to your house.
True.
I didn't know. First of all, Jesus Christ!
In a
you're
rare
going
turn of events,
really
can
hard
you
on
move your mouth away from the microphone a little bit?
Is that better?
Or lower
It
your
actually
voice.
is, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
actually-
that
I was
is
born to
actually
the
a lot.
mic.
I mean, your name is Mike. So you changed your Twitter username, which really
I did do
I
that.
had no idea what to think. Who was tweeting at me?
Sorry.
There are people talking to me. I'm like, what are you, like a cartoon character?
He's like an
now?
amorphous asexual blob now.
Yeah, you're like a pink.
I mean,
I
not now,
was born that
always,
way,
but-
so
All right,
just
respect.
embracing himself.
Respect. So what we really want to talk to you about, speaking of upping the lads, is some FC Cincinnati news that dropped, I believe,
Hey.
today, John, and that is that
that's the other thing I'm good for.
they have crested above the 11,000 season ticket holder member plateau.
True. Do I use they or we for that?
It's your
Do whatever
call.
you want, bro. I'm not a capo. I'm not trying
All
to
right,
tell you how to
way.
live your life. Relevant.
Dude. I mean, that's pretty
It's
exciting.
topical.
Like, what is that? Like $800 in the coffers there for their for the next all those ticket sales.
I don't know how we come back from that.
What kind of DP does that buy? Like John Hark's second cousin.
Well, he's dead to us
so
now,
many
so
wrestles. I only have so many drops.
Yeah,
that's
he's gone, right?
He's gone. I
Yeah,
forgot. I
he's not there
apologize.
anymore.
Yeah, Rambo Gooner told me all about that.
Rambo
last week.
Gooner, John. So that's actually a good point. When that news broke, I was like, oh shit, here are the lads' first opportunity to get fucking outraged on social media about something, right? Everything had been going so well for FCC. Everything was coming.
who
to
the fuck
faces.
cares?
Turns out nobody gave a shit about
And
it.
nobody gave a
No
shit.
one cares.
Turns out he wasn't a good coach,
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
As it turns out, when it's your first fucking go at a thing, you're not very good at it. Whoa.
So you're not upset?
As evidenced
Some
by the
guessed you
podcast.
are.
No. I mean, he probably banged Jeff Birding's wife, so, I mean,
Roasted.
good on him for that. Like, I'm into it. Being
you
me.
would be, yeah.
But I
Tony
mean-
Galifo didn't show up. Anthony Reynolds didn't show up. And Mike Burkle isn't pissed off about his coach being fired. This is the worst episode of Aces Radio ever.
I have no particular liking toward John Harkes. He did shitty in the playoffs, but that's a Cincinnati thing, so blah. Big deal.
That's also topical.
Yeah, no, they're not very good in the
Boo.
playoffs. Yeah. So
Who cares?
How's life been in the Crew SC versus FC Cincinnati Diamonds Rough Lads competition? It seems to be kind of winding down.
I still get told all the time that I have to pick, so
Have you
By
picked?
who? Do you get told that more by crew people or Cincy people?
by crew people.
by
Way
crew
more.
people more?
Well, I also deal with a lot more crew people than I do Cincinnati people, so
Oh, that's fair.
like most
'Cause you sell
Cincinnati
drugs.
people. What?
What's that?
Okay. Most Cincinnati people that I know are also crew fans,
Yeah.
so they're not going to tell me to pick. So,
Sure. Okay.
but every time I get on like the massive subreddit, and I'm like, yeah, crew people tell me to pick all the time. They're always really bitchy about it. They're all like, I always see Cincinnati people being shitty about crew people.
Yeah, it really is like
I
an
never see
impression competition at this point. Like,
Yeah.
we're way less shittier to you than you are to us. Like, oh, congratulations.
We're not mean to you. You're mean to you.
Yeah.
No, you're mean. All right. That's
You're
fine.
I can understand the desire to pick, like personally. I would, because I feel like you'd be super conflicted, but only if they were playing each other would I feel like that would be a problem.
See, but that's just an orgy to me.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
and I'm into it.
That's a weird way of looking at that.
No, like
that is not
it's
that
just
is not an
fan-
analogy. I
You get,
expected.
you get pleased by someone.
Yeah,
You-
exactly.
God only knows who it's going to be.
Right. It's just fans from one group with fans from another group,
Right.
and I'm in the middle, and I'm like,
You're going to have a pleasurable night.
Everybody gets a turn with Josephine's mom here in the Hell is Real
doing?
Cup.
hey,
What
are you doing, baby?
First Joseph joke.
I was gonna say,
Josephine joke. This,
Josephine's mom
This
did not get a
season?
mention
I
last
think so.
week.
Or this episode.
She's really tired.
We came out with a third kit. Did you see it?
Who's we?
it
Cincinnati?
orange?
Cincinnati this
Oh,
time.
No.
It's black.
You change away from the bomb pop?
Why would it be black?
Black for black's sake, I believe it is.
It's black, and then it's a Nike
Oh, it's a template?
template. So
Wait, is it just the crew
Black.
jersey, but someone's like Sharpied over the checkers with orange?
I want to say so. It's just black, and then like the sleeve area is gray.
The Cincinnati
Okay,
area.
so
dicks,
it's that same Nike
day one
template
they sold
that
the
they've been
Dick's
using
store
for
sold out of
literally
the crew jerseys,
everything else.
and then the next day, since he had a third kit,
Yeah, woo.
So when does
Crazy.
the USL season kick off? Is it soon? You have no idea. Fantastic.
I should know that.
Aren't they
DJ, you have a lot of work to do, my friend. How involved is Mark McCullers in FC Cincinnati day to day? Do you have any idea?
I'm pretty sure he is DJ, right?
Is that
I think they're the
he
same
is
person.
DJ?
I think they're the same person, right?
I mean, I've met them both, just not at the same time.
True.
They have never been. I've never actually. I did see them in the same place, but well, we'll just ignore that. Alex, do you have an answer for that? Do you know?
Yeah, you sat up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh no,
All right.
he's just interested.
But you don't know.
As we all are.
Don't move like that if you don't have an
You
answer.
sat up like you were like about to drop.
He was leaning forward.
He threw his one finger in the air like he was Sherlock Holmes
What are you-
about to solve
You're like
the
gesturing
mystery.
at me like you're a fucking mob boss right now. Like he had something to do with it.
All right,
What is-
Burkle. Don't let him be a part of this without a microphone.
You
That's
have
not
a
how this
Google.
works.
Just do a Google.
He's still
He's
pointing.
threatening to
McCullers.
find
You can
out
know.
whatever that means.
Nobody wants a fucking weather report right now, shit lord.
Colors, I know it was you. You broke my heart.
Mike, anything else you need to tell us? Did you bring any fucking ice cream?
I
Some of that's
didn't,
still in my
no.
freezer, by the way. It melted. And
What?
then I
Why
put
do
it
you
in there.
still
That was a year
have
ago,
it?
bro.
Pam eats it. I don't
Pam's just
care.
like,
Is she
eat-
dead?
It was only a what was that, a pint, if that?
Yeah.
Like
It melted, and then
What's
I
she
just
eat,
placed
like-
it very carefully in the freezer, and it refroze, and
half
Pam
a
has been eating
spoonful
it.
every
Do you
4
feed
days.
her anything else?
Are you going to want me to explain how girls eat to you? Because I don't understand.
I've
it,
seen
and
them
you
do it,
don't
and
either.
the ice cream should be gone by
You
now.
managed to get that, but
Gone,
not kill
pooped
it.
out, recycled through the ecosystem, and potentially be ice cream again at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a circle of life.
Science is hard.
Elton John
Enough
wrote a song
time has
about
passed.
it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I want to thank Mike Burkle for stopping by the program. Mike
Yay.
Burkle, what a rare treat indeed. There it is.
There you go.
We ask Julie Stanky to now join the program as she swills her craft beer like her
Like
husband.
10 minutes ago, she was like, I've never been a guest, and now we're saying, come on, and she's rolling her eyes.
I want to welcome Julie Stanky to the program.
Julie.
What are we doing?
Stankman.
Don't tell me how to cheer.
This is one more thing she's now done better than her husband.
Yeah, for lifelong listeners of ACES Radio and Wellington Phoenix fans alike, I remind you as always that Julie Stanky was kind of a helper. I wouldn't call her a guest. She was a helper on episode 14, which was a training video for the absentee amateur artist, Greg, that I feel like we kind of invented.
Greg's
him.
the amateur artist? What?
Well, you were gone and you're amateur. So
Oh, it was for me.
Yeah.
It was the
Hey,
training
Greg.
montage for you.
You're not doing real great with your sentence structure.
I don't speak well. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
Julie,
we know.
welcome to the program. It is fantastic to fucking have you. I'd like to get your thoughts, first and foremost, directly out of the gates on, I'm not, yeah, okay.
We have nothing to talk about.
Was your husband feeling good on Sunday morning? Have any kind of headache?
No, he was feeling fine.
That bro was upping the lads really good on Saturday
yeah,
afternoon.
the Chaz and the Spaz, I think, was what was going on.
Oh, is that what he's called?
Yeah.
Spaz?
I asked him when he was in full spaz mode, like, what is your version of the Chaz called? Because he came and, like, threw his arm around me. He's like, blah, 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 I'm my Chaz. I'm
my
great,
Chaz.
great. That's great. What are you called? And he's like, I have no idea. And then he threw up on my lap. That did not happen. That's a lie. So how's it going, Julie?
All right.
How's,
Happy to be here.
How's everything in ACES Radio Listenerville up there in the Great White North?
It's all right.
You're the first person that comes in our Periscope feed every week.
Yeah, I listen while I'm doing the dishes.
I didn't realize it was that exciting.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're dishes entertainment.
Yeah.
What is dishes code for, John?
I'm not at home, so somebody else has to do it.
I mean, if Mike was still on the microphone, I'd say Ritalin, but I don't think so with Julie. No.
No. She probably does
No.
harder drugs.
Black tar heroin.
Well, she is from like ruralish Ohio, and that's the thing now.
Peruvian cocaine.
That's right. Julie, your thoughts on the match against Bridgeview Fire on Sunday, my friend?
I would say that 75% of it was pretty fun, and then not so fun.
Cool. So when you guys come into town, do you just like give your kids to your parents or Andy's
Yeah, pretty
parents
much.
or something? And
Yeah.
you just fucking don't see them again until
It's actually like the first old people they see. They just give the kids. To
You have gray hair. You need
Now,
nurture this until we return.
Exactly.
teach this one how to read. It's not good at that.
Yeah.
Neither is Morgan. So you, correct me if I'm wrong, but your son, who is the eldest lad in the clan, is potentially the next president of Huston Holligans.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Is that right?
He's got a t-shirt already.
How's that been going?
Well, he's been practicing his chants and working on Up in the Lads. So
Has he?
He has, yeah.
I mean, do you think he's Galifo approved? That's the real question here.
I don't know that he swears enough yet to be Galifo approved,
Fantastic.
but we're
Wonderful.
working on it.
Well, I want to thank Julie Stanky for joining the program. You are out of here, my friend. That was boring as shit. Jesus Christ.
That's why she hasn't been a guest on the show before.
Anthony, you want to jump in here? Nope. Nope.
Not after that.
Anybody else? Mike
Oh,
Burkle.
Burkle's back.
Want to
Great,
welcome
great.
Mike Burkle to the program.
His riddle and haze. He's probably forgotten that he was already over here.
There's like
We do this already?
Yeah, no. How's FC Cincinnati going?
Oh, I still don't remember.
Want to thank
what
Mike Burkle for joining the program.
Okay, I got something we can maybe
There you go,
touch on
John.
here. There was a thread or a comment stream on the Reddit. I don't really understand how
The
it
Reddit.
works.
Yeah,
The
that's how.
Reddit.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah,
The Reddit webs.
Yep.
and I thought maybe Katie Mitchell was here.
Is she though?
Hey.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
I'm sorry. Zima just came out and I am fucking roasted.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Did you get my hot take?
is that what I sound like?
You're a little more nasally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just my voice naturally.
Back to you, John.
So I saw some people, anyways, talking about how they feel unappreciated by the club, and they were specifically bitching about
Is that Hello Darkness, my old friend coming on?
maybe,
Oh, there it
maybe.
is.
They were talking about how it's really rough to have to drive all the way up there and blah 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 blah. And
feel
why
it.
don't we get any more? Darby knows what I'm talking about. Darby, you want to jump in here? You can take my microphone actually, because I want Burkle to be involved because it's a Cincinnati topic.
I'm into it.
So here you go.
I remember when the club cared about me upping them and their lads, but then Mark McCullers was fired and they stopped caring about the 513 and I had to take my money to Cincinnati FC Stadium. Why?
Back to you, Darby.
The FC comes first. Right.
I apologize.
You should. Right. So, and this is going to be a fun dialogue, I think, because basically this came from Cincinnati people. There are a lot.
Can I warn you?
Yeah.
For the first start here,
Yeah.
is I'm just gonna yell privilege every time you talk about that,
Nice.
and I'm gonna try to belch it.
Okay, that's cool. I can totally respect it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Aces Radio. Wonderful.
So the
I love this show.
The special snowflakes that live out of town, particularly but not exclusively in Cincinnati, apparently feel as though they deserve special buses.
All my
to bring
Dayton
them to the
fans say,
stadium.
"Hey."
Right, free parking.
Yeah,
believe
I didn't
was,
hear anything
another
either.
Suggestion. They
Oh,
they
no,
want
this is
players to show
Sorry,
up
Matt's there.
like randomly in Cincinnati and like I don't know host parties at bars and stuff. And basically they sound like a bunch of Seattle fans.
Goddamn millennials.
I swear, participation trophies all around. It's just amazing.
Yep.
And yeah, I tried to point out that okay, so should we do this for Dayton and Cleveland and Toledo and
Everybody
I don't
wants a free ride, a free sandwich, a goddamn chicken in every pot.
right? I mean, Hot Chicken Takeover belongs to Columbus. We can't just give it out to everybody.
Right?
It is uniquely
It's only for
Columbus.
those people
it's not
who
a
are born
Nashville
here.
thing.
Build a
no.
goddamn wall.
In all seriousness, I do find that like people that talk. I'm not vilifying anyone, right? Like, I'm not trying to say those people.
Can you start?
But people that are like, well, I just feel like the Crew don't care about anyone outside of Columbus anymore. It's like they're just focusing on Columbus. Like, where the fuck do you want them to fucking focus? All right. How about this? Fair enough. Once a Columbus Crew SC have completely and totally saturated the market in the 614 within the 270 outer belt, then and only then, I think it's cool that we go start trying to fucking bring buses in from Germantown.
I agree.
You
So
know?
like 20 years from now, I totally agree.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
that the Crew should start, working on other markets.
Yeah, and it's tough to be an out of city fan. I definitely get that. Like,
I wouldn't say it's tough. Like the
it's
issue,
tougher. Right?
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's unique.
The issue is that the FO wants to play it both ways. Like you can't be the front office and say, yeah, we're Ohio's team, but then also not market to anywhere outside of Columbus.
So your fucking argument is that they don't play commercials in Cincinnati? They don't play commercials in Columbus.
My issue, my issue is that it's cheaper for me to get tickets through Hudson Holligans than it is for me to get tickets through the front office.
Then fucking do it.
But they're calling me every week trying to get me. John's been to 2 games.
Well, that's sales, baby. That's how
John's
it
been
works.
to goddamn 2 games, and they still cannot understand that he lives in Cincinnati. They still call him up like, why aren't you buying season tickets, brah? It's like, well, you're the 3rd person who's called me this week, and you don't understand that I live in Cincinnati. Like, at least your computer system should tell you that I'm not from.
Well, let me tell you
Columbus.
this. So their CRM, right, is Ticketmaster. Okay, so Ticketmaster creates a unique account every time you buy a ticket. Now, if that's like your season tickets, you're under one account. But if like you go on and randomly buy like a ticket to a game and you maybe don't do it through your account, I have at least 4 accounts in the Crew SC CRM, and I get calls.
But that's not a good excuse.
But it's the same fucking thing.
They use a
They're
shitty
calling
system
me-
is not a good excuse.
I'm not saying it's an excuse. What I am saying is if you're saying like, okay, how dare they not know I live in Cincinnati? I could come back and say, how dare they not know I already have fucking 4 season tickets?
I agree.
That has nothing
That's
to do with
pretty
where
shitty.
your goddamn location is. It has everything to do with Ticketmaster being a shitty CRM. Back to you.
But that's pretty bad though. Like,
Is
that's
it pretty
weird.
bad?
But
Is
it's
it
pretty weird.
bad, Mike?
It seems pretty weird to me.
But you also,
Seems
on the
weird.
one hand, you're saying the front office doesn't market to Cincinnati people enough, but then you're saying I can't buy season tickets because I live in Cincinnati. Like,
Okay, I wouldn't give a shit if they didn't market to us, if they didn't call me all the time, and like. So I know that through Hudson Hooligans you get like
It's definitely what it's
money off your ticket or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
which
like,
you can-
it's like $17 for a ticket if you're from out of town. I don't know how that works, but from what I know, they get discounted tickets through the front office, right?
Right. Plus, you can
Correct?
reserve tickets on Twitter, which is a really great.
That's true. Tweet at
I have heard
HSH
that.
96.
Absolutely tweet right now, everyone that I know.
My son Derek.
Whether you want a ticket or not, absolutely tweet
The toilet
Katie
at his
Mitchell
school is
right
broken.
the fuck now.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yes, that's how it works. Yeah.
So if I want season tickets, why can't the front office also discount those? Like
They do. Jesus Christ.
they don't.
They do.
No, they do.
100% they do.
They really don't.
Darby.
No,
I have done this.
No, I have to admit. So I
have bought season tickets as an out of town person. Have you?
No. But what I'm saying is,
Fuck
okay.
does that mean?
So I actually bitched about this to Morgan last season, right? Like,
Go
oh,
on.
my tickets are going up, and
Because
Yeah,
Morgan,
I was there for that.
because Morgan is your front office representative.
Yes,
That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
As a
he's
front
an
office
FO
show.
I'm the designated rabble.
Which he does.
There you go.
But when I look at it, and I realize the season, I look at it, I'm like, my season ticket prices are literally 2/3 of if I were buying single game tickets. So there's a discount. That is literally a thing, and you can buy your parking in advance.
No.
And you can get-
I mean, for out of town people,
you don't
it's-
get more of a discount than we do, though. That doesn't make any sense.
Like they don't prorate it because of the distance you have to travel.
Yeah.
It doesn't work
I
that
have
way.
to pay a little bit for gas, and it's a little bit more of a
Okay,
time
here we
thing.
go.
But
that's
but
your
it's
choice.
true.
Like,
But it is, and it's my choice not to. It's
Totally-
also my choice not to do
Well, then
that.
don't do it. Up the lads at fucking Nipper, brah.
I did that's exactly what I've done, and that's unfortunate though. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I
Nobody does.
I would rather be a Crew fan. Like, I would rather support MLS here. But
I hear what you're saying. So let me say this. This is also the same argument that people make when they say, why don't they just sell $10 tickets at the last minute like they do with the fucking Hudson or the Huntington Club at CBJ games, like last second, the run-up tickets or whatever. If a game isn't looking like it's going to sell out, why doesn't the front office go, hey, the rest of the tickets are fucking $10, right?
That kind of makes sense, though.
Or at least have one section like they do at the Blue Jackets games.
Waits till the
I'm not
last
an
minute.
economics guy. I don't do
You don't
numbers,
need to do that thing with your hands. We know.
Nobody can actually see that.
I don't know what this means.
Yeah. He's doing air quotes, and we know he's bad at math. You don't need to do the air quotes.
I watched
I think most of the listeners can figure
the
out
home
that-
opener against Chicago, and it wasn't very sold out, and it kind of looked like shit.
Well, Chicago is a good thing to do that because it's Bridgeview. Yeah, it's
Right.
So anyway, if they
It
said
didn't look great, and
This
maybe
is
you
the-
should have sold more tickets.
Okay, fantastic, FCC. Thanks.
Would
for
you like me to
joining
say
us.
this more? Hey, ask me again when the
I'm such a
Cincinnati-
Valley girl. Oh my god.
I'm not going to ask you anything
Ask
ever
me again when the
again.
home opener is, because I don't know.
We've heard his voice gradually migrate to this, and I'm doing the air quotes, but you can tell
You're so
because of
it's
emphasis.
Everyone
in
that's
my
doing
voice.
it is great. That's what I'm.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's the same argument that people
If anyone was
use
trying for
for
an accent, Greg,
U.S.
too.
Open Cup, right? When they say we don't get really great attendance for U.S. Open Cup games, why don't we just make the tickets like $2.50? So there are two problems inherently with that. One, you're devaluing your product by saying like, okay, well, this game is trash, but it's still our fucking team and our fucking stadium, right?
We've only got one DP, so
But it's not our stadium.
how valuable
Okay.
is
we got two.
is the tickets?
Assuming
booth?
we're playing at Cruisers FC Stadium, right? So also, if you were to say, okay, we're not selling this game very well, it's $10, you think that the season ticket holders are upset right now?
Oh yeah.
Wait until you charge people at the last second $10 and they paid $38.50. Fuck
And
me.
not to mention that the Crew are trying to sell 17 games as opposed to the Blue Jackets selling 41.
Yep.
But I
If
genuinely
you
don't
miss
know
one,
that.
there's
Like,
another one a few nights later.
Yep.
I don't deal with a lot of season ticket holders since I live in Cincinnati.
Oh,
how
we are
pissed
the
are
worst.
you guys?
Oh, we are the fucking worst.
Why are you guys so mad?
Mike, I went to a roundtable discussion one time when we had to get rid of our paper season tickets in favor of the cards that we have now, which are fucking great, right?
Which are great.
So it's this roundtable discussion, and Clark Daddy Beaks gets up in front of everybody, and he's like, I just want to get everybody's impressions of what's going to happen, like if we do this card thing, because they weren't sure they were going to do it at the time. And somebody goes, "Yeah, I have a thought. Why is the water so cold in the bathroom?" And it turned into a 7-hour-long bitch fest about random shit that had nothing to do with the goddamn ticket cards, right?
Are you sure that
We spent an hour and a half talking about fucking cold water out of taps in the wintertime at the
it is cold.
fairgrounds.
It is cold.
It's cold because it's fucking winter.
Are you sure that Ohio sports fans just aren't the worst people to ever live?
All this to say, Ohio
I'm
sports
sure-
fans
I'm sure
are the
they
worst
are.
people to ever
Parks
live.
back in.
Great
So
to have
no-
you screaming in the microphone again, Mike.
I will say, and to Scott Sedley's credit, and I may never use that phrase again.
Scott
in my
Sedley is a
entire-
goddamn national treasure. You take that back.
No, I love the guy, even though we argue all the time.
I'm with you,
He
Scott.
does
Don't
make
worry.
a good point.
Son of a bitch.
People outside of Columbus don't get all of the Columbus shit that we do.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
so, like,
absolutely
okay,
not.
They don't get the Raising Cane's discount. They don't appreciate the fact that it's
Wait, what?
all local
No,
shit.
you go back to that. Do you get
Oh,
a
yeah.
discount on Canes?
Last season, it was a buy one, get one on wings. Oh, and I ate. That's the reason I'm on blood pressure medication right now. Because I
Darby,
ate
your
fucking
point.
Raising
Keep
Cane's.
going.
You fucking
We have to end this segment.
People from out of town, they don't get a lot of the local shit.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Like, they don't care that it's Columbus craft beer and the local beer
Sure.
thing, and it's local food trucks.
In the same way that I don't get much out of the Baltimore Ravens.
Right. So I understand that, but again, like, that's your choice. You've chosen to support this team that you know is a Columbus team.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting special treatment because you're not Columbus.
And
Like,
the front office
yeah.
only has so much energy, right?
And money.
Yeah, and if you
I
want
them
them
to
to
spend
say
money
it.
on the
I'll say
team,
it.
I want them to spend money on players.
I
not-
want them to focus their emotional, their physical, and their monetary energy within the outer belt of 270. Because that is where we play our games. That is the name of the fucking city on our crest. And we need to focus on that and maximize that before we start worrying about these goddamn riddling fucking addict shitlords down in Kentucky.
Wait a
And I'm talking
second.
about Rambo Gooner, not
My-
you.
my final-
Hey!
Because I said
my
Kentucky.
final
That's my
thought-
boy.
My final
Coming
thought
to
on that
the
is to go
shithole.
back to an original point
Greg
about
Benson.
building the wall. I completely support building a wall around 270. Absolutely.
Boom.
I've been to the rest of
Roasted.
Ohio. I'm good with this.
There's nothing good outside of it.
There is absolutely nothing good.
My body instinctively
You like corn?
starts having diarrhea when I move outside
Not
of the
that
outer belt.
much.
It's like, whoa, what are you doing, bro? You trying to go to Kentucky right now? It's where the Cincinnati airport is.
I'd just rather have the marketing people getting us an accurate deal than calling 160 Papa John's and saying, hey, do you want to give $2 off a pizza
Boom.
to your people in
Roasted.
town?
Yeah, that being said, I love the Greg Clips free haircuts. Those are really good.
We can tell.
Yeah. That's such a good joke. Everyone made it at once. That's how you know he's roasted. Anyway.
I don't know how you come back from that, Morgan.
Mike, you got any last words, you shitlord?
YouTube us? I don't know.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Who's us?
Me and Steve?
Okay, you're bad at promotion.
You tell him, Steve.
I don't know. Fuck.
Okay, go find Mike and Steve on fucking YouTube. That won't be hard.
Rot Gut Gaming.
There it is. Oh, if you've enjoyed segment 2, you are drunk, because that was garbage.
Shane loves us. Fuck, I don't know.
Shane Paulson loves everything. My God, amigos. Thanks for sticking with us through the biggest train wreck segment in the history of this train wreck program.
FC Cincinnati, baby.
That's exactly the chant that we're all going to do, and you are listening to ACES Radio.
Hot, sicker than your average. Down like goose and I'm fly like Maverick. With the savage attack in the mouth like a match. Spitting fuego, homie. It ain't tricking if it's magic illusions. Indubitably juvenile. My crew can do it and we do it well. Rock around the clock all across the nation. Got a lot of sky miles and a reputation of making earthquakes every time we land. Cause stopping ain't an option or a part of the plan. Fools get to fuming while I'm running on jet fuel. Now pay close attention cause I'm ready to let you know what I'm all about, child. I got that style that you come to love. And I'ma stay fly till the day I die, spitting fresh to death from above. Get it, David F. Man, you don't stop. David, you don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah, I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly. To all the people in coach, yeah. To my first class folks, yeah. We'll show you how to scrape the sky.
Yeah, baby. All of you unfortunate shitlords that stuck around through the worst segment in the history of a program of terrible segments. Why are you still here? How dare you? It's segment 3. It's ACES Radio. We're back, and we're live on Periscope. Want to say hello to all 16 of you who have been tricked into watching this on the internet by use of the hashtag Bills Mafia. We remind you, as always, this is a Buffalo Bills podcast only. Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, Don Beebe, Andre Reed, and all of the burned down houses and smashed tables that we love and cherish from hashtag Bills Mafia fan culture. It's great. It's great. Want to welcome you back, Walter.
He's mute.
Oh, is that right, Greg?
He's mute this week, mainly because I don't have any kind of upper range in my voice.
Ah, so you're sick, and so Walter can't talk?
That's the thing. When you hang out with your kids, whatever they have, you have. So when you hang out with your raccoon, whatever you have, he has.
Distemper?
Exactly.
I want to welcome back
fondness
to
for trash.
I want to welcome back to the program GCG Bag Tyler.
Yo.
Thank you for joining us, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute channel 2. Mike Burkle, you're back as well. You Ritalin addict, you girlfriend,
True.
sex haver. Is that a term? Some white Darby
now,
Schnarfus
baby.
will be on here, as have scheduled him, and he's required to be on by law. So fan-fucking-tastic.
Anytime John Zadar is unable to make it.
Yeah, John
Darby
actually has
Schnarfus.
amateur artist shit to do, so he left. Like, we kid him, but that's literally why he left, because he has art to do. What a shitlord. Greg, what if I told you that there was a cure for the scourge, that is the lack of John Zadar?
What would that cure be, Morgan?
The power rankings from the GCG bag.
That's right. They say the only cure for the scourge, that is GCG bag power rankings, are hot takes.
Nothing is impossible. Make your dreams come true.
And now, an ACES Radio exclusive. The battle for
takes so
the
goddamn long.
grand prize. Hot takes from the massive.
It's on your
You're not
pregame
gonna stop
playlist.
there.
Jesus Christ, stop
Hot
talking
takes
over the
from
intro.
Twitter.
2 weeks in a row.
Hot takes from you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, user A Stanky on Periscope. No, you can't mention Capo Stands on segment 3. How dare you? Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Battle for the Grand Prize. Sweet Jesus, we have a logjam at the top, Greg.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't mind, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the hot takes, I wanted to go over quickly the current standings.
I want your potato meat, baby.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Mike, for stopping by. Welcome to 14 viewers on Periscope. In first place, we have Phil Goldfart with 6 points. First place also shared with what's that?
6 points.
Yeah, 6.
The fucking leader this week has 6 points.
No, I mean, it's
This is our third episode of this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fresh. Come on, Darby.
You know,
Jesus.
the points reset at the beginning of the year, right?
I know that you were expecting a big payout after the FC Dallas 1% announcement this week, but I mean, these are hot takes, brother.
Ooh.
Come on. Hashtag Cashdia. Phil Goldfart in first place, along with Lord of the Shits, Greg, both with 6 points, battling for the top spot. In third, checking in, we have Hug Me Shaven Oregon with 3 points.
I'm sorry, Morgan, I didn't catch that the first time. Could you repeat that?
That would be Hug Me Shaven Oregon.
What is the reference?
It's an anagram for Morgan Evan Hughes. Hashtag Bills Mafia. Tied
Yeah,
for...
it actually is.
It really is. A log jam in fourth place. 4 users, that being Buttle Surfer, Celebrity Shitlord Yvonne Seagull, The Crew Pat, a.k.a. Patrick Moore, and user _ Ken, all with 2 points. Bringing up the rear, Greg, and getting the bulk. Here's a gaggle fuck of celebrity fans. With 1 point, Bob O'Shaughnessy, GC G-Bag Tyler, Mike Hudson Sucks, and Dave Edner, all with 1 point. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I would like to point out that Mike Burkle
We
is
may
like
have broken
sleep with your
Mike
girlfriend level drunk right now.
That's true.
I did not know that was an anagram for your name.
It sure is.
Mike Burkle is unable to sleep with girlfriend levels of drunk right now because the hashtag beer culture dick is real.
I will give it a goddamn go, though.
As if anyone ever doubted that beer culture was a serious issue facing all of us, Greg.
I will beatbox for more points later.
Fantastic, Tyler. Moving on now to the subreddit known as the Massive Derby, and I remind you as always that these hot takes are organized automatically by their level of fiery fucking hotness. However,
Mike would like to talk more about the anagram.
Okay, an anagram of my name is Hug Me Shaven Oregon.
Do you know what's even funnier about that?
How that happens.
What's even funnier about that is if you
person. I know you. How does that even happen?
I'm just lucky.
What's funnier about that, Mike, is if you swap around the first 2 words and say it like a caveman. Me hug shaven organ. It's even better. There you go.
Studio audience fucking loves it. Moving on to the Massive, Greg. Top upvoted comment with 5 points is from user Yeah Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey.
My dog.
It's either the dog or the FCC supporter section. I can't.
We'll
I don't
base
know
that
which.
on the hot take that's upcoming.
I think it was very good of you to reach across the aisle, Morgan, and name your dog after the FC Cincinnati supporter section.
Fucking tastic.
It's
Moving
very
on
noble.
from user Yeah Bailey with 5 points. Quote, woof. End quote.
All the blood points.
That's the top upvoted.
I go now to myself for my thoughts on this. Everything in my life can't be an inside joke. Walter the raccoon, your thoughts? The animal that destroyed my engine.
Use ASL.
Give me like 5 minutes. I'm seriously still recovering from this shit.
No, God, please, no.
Oh wait, do I have an Australian accent now? I can't tell.
Moving on from user Lord of the Shits with 7 points, somehow below 5 points.
Way to organize these.
I swear to God, this is a great episode.
Greg Benson has coughed into the
Moving
microphone.
on from user
I
Lord of the
apologize.
Shits with 7 points. Quote, congrats to Morgan and Pam on the recent engagement. I imagine your wedding will be something like this. The chapel will be donned with stolen banners displaying their wedding color, yellow bitch Columbus Crew.
I'm sorry, what? Yellow like what?
Like the Columbus Crew, Darby. Back to you. The guests will turn as their hot take anthem cues the offbeat drums of the Nordak. Pam will be wheeled down the aisle on casters. Which are not just wheels, by the way.
No,
Ring
they're
bearer Derek will be by Morgan's side as he mispronounces half of his vows. Boom roasted. They are then pronounced Pam and Morgan Purdy.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's actually I threatened Pam with that.
I now pronounce you Pam and wife.
I find it this is a mid hot take from yours truly.
She's not going to accept that. She doesn't want you associated with her name.
She wants my last name, and I find that unacceptable. I've never wanted to sleep with somebody with my last name. I find it fucking foul and disgusting.
Well, no, never mind.
And she's like, but we want to be a family. I'm like, if you take Hughes as your last name, which you're free to do, I'm changing mine to Purdy.
When you put it like that, it does sound weird.
It's gross, dude. I
sound really
literally
weird.
never understood it. Like, oh, I want you to change your name so I can sleep with somebody that has the name of my mom.
What about like a hyphen?
Wait,
Fuck no.
what if your mom didn't change her name?
I wouldn't care at all because it's her, not me. And then the argument, of course, is like, oh, but what will you call the kids? I'm like, I don't give a shit. I will have made them. They'll look like me.
You already
I'll
have
know they're
one.
mine.
I was going to say, Derek is already huge. So.
You son of a bitch.
He continues. After the ceremony, a few things will happen when they will head via Periscope to an abandoned warehouse for a reception-themed tailgate. Duck-buttered cake will be served. John will whip out his PFGs out on the dance floor during the electric slide. Chris Doran will impregnate all the bridesmaids and then sleep with Pam to consummate the marriage. If you
Can I be one of the bridesmaids?
Okay, Mike, you're not
All
Walter.
right.
Jesus Christ. If you still need a gift, the happy couple is registered at ZZ Boots, Wildman's Leather and Lace. End quote. Greg Benson, your thoughts?
I love that. I wasn't sure whether or not to give it a blood point, but that's an early favorite.
Oh, what a rare treat it is indeed to have you, my
Who
friend.
was that one?
That was Lord of the Shits.
Lord of the Shits.
Of
I
course,
thought it
with
might have
7
been.
points, the highest upvoted
Naturally.
comment. Tyler, your thoughts?
My thoughts are Frankie Haydock has never been to ZZ Boots, but he really wants to go. We talked to him at the presser.
He literally said,
He was
I want to go to ZZ
he was
Boots.
like, what is this place that you're talking about? And we were just like, it's kind of like
Call Jeanette, get him a ride.
It's the goddamn Midwest
GCG
largest
just
selection
wants
of
to just pick
gag
him up
gifts.
one day and it's like we're just gonna do this. We're gonna take you to a leather shop and see what you get into.
It's gonna get weird.
Darby Schnarfus, your thoughts?
I would just like to point out, I literally just pulled up this thread on Reddit. And the thing you're reading as the top comment is like the 5th or 6th down in the list. So you suck at the internet so hard.
True.
Moving on from user Hang the DJ with 7
There it
points.
is. That one's the top.
That's the top one.
Fantastic. Quote, I am concerned that it's season 2 of ACES Radio and Morgan is still hitting all the wrong buttons and Greg is still stepping on John's lines. It's very unorganized. I'll be petitioning Zauber Brewing Company to build a Capo stand in the back room specifically for podcasts. Message me for details, end quote. Mike Berkel, your thoughts?
Cincinnati? I don't know. Fuck. Move on. Come back to me.
That's the newest chant in the Bailey, by the way.
He is so
Cincinnati.
I just haven't had a Riddle in about 4 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Rough lads.
Moving on.
Oh, fuck. That was the one I should have gone with.
From user setting the table with 5 points. Quote, my ACES Radio podcast download last week must have been corrupted as the audio was really muddy sounding. As I tried to interpret from the bad audio, it sounded like international soccer celebrity Chris Doran is no longer on the crew broadcast team anymore, and he's now supplementing his income by becoming a paid spokesman for Sportsman Farm. I believe I heard him during the segment 2 last week doing a radio spot for their butter, as I repeatedly heard him say the words duck, ducking, mother ducker, in what apparently is Sportsman Farm's new tagline, go duck yourself. End quote. Greg Benson, your thoughts?
I'll pay that. It's well done. I think it's Sportman Farms.
Is it Sportman Farms?
Is it Sportman?
I mean, it's my fucking uncle. I decided.
I should hope that you know.
I don't know if you'll believe this. Morgan misread what was on the screen.
No shit.
Yes. It says Sportman Farms on the actual.
What?
I mean, it is your uncle. You should fucking know.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
There it is.
I've come
This is great.
You're about as well acquainted with your uncle as you are with your son.
Oh, fuck.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on from user Hey Free Sandwich with 5 points. Quote, it has become obvious that the FO needs to use some of that gam and tam to pick a fight and win capo, preferably from Seattle. They have plenty of them on the beach. They have plenty on the bench anyway, plus they have Premier League experience. It is really the only position we're lacking, and I'm really getting tired of dropping points at home because no one is telling the Nordeca how to chant and sing and up the lads, end quote. What? Tyler from GCG Bag, your thoughts?
Yeah, we were pretty shit on Saturday.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Who's we?
The Nordeca as a whole.
Were we?
I don't know, a little bit.
Nah, you don't seem very sure.
Just a little bit. You know, I don't want to be too harsh because, you know, I love the rough lads.
He wants to be sure that his lads are
Properly
sufficiently
rough.
up.
Are we going to talk about this? I am so sick of the goddamn Capo discussion.
You missed the entirety of segment 1, my friend. It's literally all we
Did
talked
I?
about. Oh, yeah. It's an hour of Capo talk.
Mike.
What was the goddamn consensus? Are we
I'll tell
done
you
with
what
it?
the consensus was.
Are we done
Mike,
with
next.
Okay. All
Mike,
right.
next
All
time,
right.
next
Fair.
time we'll provide a bus so
All right,
you're here
fine.
in time for the start of the show.
Thank God, because it better goddamn be free because I work too hard every week to deal with this goddamn shit with the fucking crew.
Oh my.
Moving on.
Katie Mitchell, everybody.
From user Darling Thief with 4 points. Quote, after surveying the Crooniverse this week, I believe I've stumbled upon something huge with hashtag painting mania among us. The sheer number of TiVos and basketball fundamental videos has left me with more questions than answers. We keep hearing about this great caster company that he works for. We have even heard talk last week that casters are not just wheels. We have no evidence that Morgan is actually ever working, which can only mean one thing. Caster Connection is a front for laundering TiVos.
All I ever see on Twitter is Tifo in a warehouse.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure you don't do any work.
Darling Thief continues. You have to wonder what the other immoral and possibly illegal activities are going on in this establishment. Is this where Morgan has been hiding the stolen banners?
Yes.
Is there a broom closet somewhere named Derek's bedroom?
Yes.
How many capo stands has Morgan been hiding?
Yes.
Was Morgan's proposal to pay him a diversion to hide the truth?
3.
Yes.
Inquiring minds want to know, Morgan, end quote.
Yes.
Greg Benson, your thoughts. You work there.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes, mate.
I'm not trying to say that they
Can
also
I-
harbor immigrants, but I report, you decide.
Moving
What was-
on.
Who was that from?
Build a
Morgan?
wall.
That was from user Darling Thief. Moving on from user Zappalicious with 4 points, quote, true to crewdom form, the fan base turns its lonely eyes on the first week of the season, even though it says wheel, of the season, to a non-existent capo stage in face of a middling home result. Does the crew have similar... Wait a minute.
Do I need to proofread this for you?
Does the crew still have similar issues from 2016 that will carry over into this year? And they spelled carry like Jason Gary, except carry. Who knows, but one thing is for certain, a capo will fix everything. Yes, the team put in all that they could for 45 whole minutes, but the onslaught of that year's hashtag wooden spooners was just too much. I hope our new capo stand is mobile, because Houston had a better week than we did, and it seems the only way that the crew can improve is not through a serious scrutiny of the team, but rather through a capo. Remember, shitlords, that capo's capo.
Hashtag.
End quote.
Hashtag Capo's Capo.
Darby Schnarf, your thoughts?
Every week we're getting a new beautiful hashtag that I want to use. I believe last week was Up the Douches.
Yeah.
I think Capo's Capo may be my new favorite hashtag. I love this trend.
Moving on from user Hug Me Shaven Organ with 4 points. Quote, hi, and then the emoji that just Miriam tweeted at me this morning. End quote.
Hug me, shaven Miriam.
Greg Benson, your fucking thoughts.
I'm sorry, who did that hot take come from again, Morgan?
Unfortunately, anybody has time for that.
I
Moving
forgot
on.
about that username already, and it was great again.
From user Buttle Surfer with 5 points. Quote, I'd like to add my congrats to Morgan and Pam for the announcement of their pending nuptial. This is getting great. I love this episode. I've also got what I believe may be an ACES radio exclusive. That's right, I've managed to track down their wedding registry.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Chaz and Pam's registry.
Chaz and Pam.
It's a hyperlink to bedbathandbeyond.com. And the products are...
Can I just say that Cincinnati fans
Nothing?
didn't get any idea that this was happening? I think it's really selfish that Cincinnati fans didn't get any clue that you had
Fan-fucking-tastic, Mike. Thanks for stopping by.
And that's really selfish.
On the registry, we
asshole
have
Columbus fans.
a butter dish, nesting tables, a rolling shoe rack, a shower caddy, a hamper set, pizza baker, a duck ice cube tray.
It's like you should read the hot take or something.
Oh.
Jesus, Morgan. Come on.
Don't give me fucking links. Okay, moving on. Now I know how the panel feels about links in their hot takes, so I'll go ahead and briefly describe each item on the list. Oh, fantastic. Show prep's overrated. 2 3-piece nesting table sets. Pam needs lots of flat surfaces. A 60-pair rolling shoe rack. Improved casters
Say
needed.
vagina wash.
Also, Pam has lots of shoes. An oversized 3-tier shower caddy to hold all Pam's Morgan Hughes' vagina wash.
That's not good.
A 6-piece clothes hamper set. Pam, clothes, floor. Stainless steel professional pizza baker. Includes automatic 30-minute shutoff. No more burnt pizzas. 3-piece pizza baking set containing a pizza stone, pizza peeler, and pizza cutter. Pack of rubber duckies for bath time fun. Duck ice cube tray for all the Chaz's cocktails. A Dublin crystal butter dish for all the fresh duck butter from Sportman Farms. Morgan loves Dublin. It's not true. It's a lie. Let's help the happy couple acquire all they need for their life together. See you in the shower. End quote.
See, I really should have gotten a bust of this hot take.
Fantastic, Mike Burkle. It's great to have you.
Should have been free.
If anybody in this room knows Buttle Surfer in real life, maybe they teach them how to format in Reddit form. It's 5 spaces at the end of your sentence, then the return key, and it'll have a line break there. So it's not just one giant fucking paragraph of Hatakes. Darby Schnarf is your thoughts.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah, green is not your color, Morgan, because clearly you are jealous of the brilliance that is Buttle Surfer.
Is that true? Greg Benson, your thoughts?
Oh, he's blunt, but he's onto something.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on from the user the Landshark 42 with 3 points, a.k.a. Shane Paulson, a.k.a. Caitlin Paulson, the dirty slut whore wife of Shane Paulson. Quote, after embarrassing ourselves with possibly the worst drumming in franchise history, there is only one thing that can save us from being ridiculed by everyone in the universe. Sportman Farm has done well by locally sourcing their patented duck butter, but exploiting the young, neglected Derek Hughes will only get them so far. That's right, folks. We'll have to start importing the original Andres Mendoza Peruvian duck butter. This slippery, oily goodness can be found in brothels all over Peru, and we know that there will never be a shortage of this liquid gold. So pack your bags, young Derek. You're off to strike the deal of the century. Maybe then your daddy will actually love you. End quote. Run-on sentences, Greg galore. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm docking points for, unfortunately.
Everything else was great.
Sounds like a talking to me.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving on from user Talons with 1 point. We are officially into the one-pointers. Maybe not, because it's organized automatically by its level of
This
fire.
has
fucking
4
hotness.
points,
Yeah, I
by
was
the
going
way.
to say it's all fun.
That says 1 on my screen. Quote, I say we start a petition survey to end matches in Columbus after 70 minutes, as it seems it will be the only way we can win. Other questions on the petition survey: should Walter be the new mascot? Just say it out loud. Crew Coon. End quote.
No, I'm not saying that out loud. Under no circumstances.
Come on,
That
racist
is
Greg.
a Hatake and a racist
That is
sentiment.
super awkward.
It's very awkward, and I'm only racist against white people. So
I'm so glad that Morgan had to say it out loud, though.
Yeah,
'Cause somebody now can take that audio. And
yeah, if you want to make that into a drop, mate, Beckman.
Unfortunately, no one has time for that. Moving on from Mr. Hired Ballerina with 1 point as well. This is a long one. Jesus Christ, settle in. Quote, good evening, shitlords. It's time for everyone's favorite radio game show, Would You Rather, ACES Radio Edition. We'll start out with a few softballs to get everyone warmed up before we dive into the hottest of the hotness. Would you rather have to capo a Seattle match, or have a Seattle fan capo a crew match? Why don't we go around and get everybody's opinion? Start with you, Tyler.
I would rather have a Seattle fan capo.
Oh, that's the wrong answer. Jesus.
No.
Just not the one from the video.
Not the fight and win guy.
Just got a direct message on Twitter from Buttle Surfer, and he said, or he or she said, fuck Reddit formatting.
Oh, Nice cover, by the way. He
or she. Who knows what it is? It's a buttle survey, you know? It's not spelled how you think it is.
All right, Derby, what do you think?
No, we're going to do one at a time. All right, moving on. Would you rather have the Crew be guaranteed to win MLS Cup at least once every 10 years for the next 50 years, or have Ohio State beat Michigan in every competition for the next 50 years?
Can I take this one?
Thank Christ I don't have to answer that. Mike Burkle.
Yes! I would absolutely take the first one because fuck OSU. Boom. Rested. Go on.
I'm not going to. Okay, moving on.
I'll tell you what, to answer your question, no, we're not providing you a bus up to Columbus, but we will provide you a free bus home.
I'll take that. Boom. Roasted.
Hard to hit those buttons. Next question. Would you rather field one 10-foot-tall Guillermo or 10 1-foot-tall Guillermos? Greg Benson.
10 1-foot-tall. 10 1-foot-tall Guillermos because that's fucking hilarious.
Plus, you're only losing about 6 inches of his actual height.
I actually created a team like that in FIFA once. It was I couldn't play it because I couldn't quit laughing about it.
We won the entire league with one 3-foot-tall Guillermo. I'm assuming one 10-foot-tall Guillermo, we'd win it for a decade. Moving on. Would you rather never be able to give man balls to Mendoza or never be able to pick yellow bitch? Columbus Crew, I think I have to take this.
You have
Is
to
that
take
right?
Yeah, that's you.
Definitely, I would rather. I want to give all my man balls to Mendoza, so I'm picking whichever one makes that happen. Is that not doing yellow bitch?
Not doing yellow bitch.
That's fan-fucking-tastic.
So you might actually have to switch
Does
it
that
up.
hurt?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Yellow Beach, Columbus Crew.
Yellow
Moving
like
on.
what, Morgan?
Like Columbus Crew, Greg. How dare
Cool.
you? Would you rather be forced to only eat food prepared by Pam for the rest of your life or be Doran's towel boy cleanup crew? Greg
I'm
Benson,
already
your
number
thoughts?
2.
Yeah. What?
It would be-
no.
We all live number
How
2.
much
Mr.
jizz do you want to clean up in your life? Jeez.
I mean, it's not about one, is it, Darby?
I mean,
It's-
I'll eat burnt pizza before I clean up gallons of Doran manspunk.
It
Moving
has
the
nothing
fuck
to do
on,
with
because this
want.
is the worst episode of Aces Radio ever.
Like, I live in the real world.
Have we talked about having sex with corpses yet, Morgan?
Would you rather lose your ability to
This
tell
is Trump's America.
what is or is not a knife, or every time you walk into a room, I come from a land down under, plays? Greg Benson, your thoughts?
I could happily go the rest of my life without using a knife.
No, you
'Cause-
can't. That's a lie.
No, that's what the side of the fork is for.
How many times you use a knife? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Back to you, Morgan.
Moving on.
Wow, that was loud.
Yeah, it sure was. Would you rather, you know what, okay, there's like 7 more of these.
Then get through them.
Okay, let's not answer each one because this is going to take 7 hours. Would you rather win the war on AGS attack or win the war on Alex? Ooh, that's actually a pretty good question. Darby Schnarvis, your
Duh.
thoughts?
Second one every day.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
AGS attacks, like,
Don't lie.
That's sort of become a thing without
No.
really any basis. We always want to win the war on Alex was the original war on somebody, so that one wins forever and ever.
The war on Alex is not meant to be won. The
goddamn
war
dog.
on Alex is meant to be ongoing.
Ags attack is everybody's
I'm
dog.
intolerable.
You can
Everybody
lie,
go
but
listen to
it's
ACES Radio
AGS
instead. It's going to be awesome.
Ags.
No, it's
Jesus
definitely
Christ.
AGS.
It's
That's a
Ags.
really funny drop.
That's
it's a
fine.
shame so many people were talking over
It's
it.
Ags attack. That's fine. I
I'd
got
like-
you, dog.
I know our whole thing
But
is
it's more
like
fun to say AGS.
Jesus Christ,
'cause
moving the
E5's
fuck
not
on.
what it is. No, definitely.
And channel 2 muted.
Thank you.
Would you rather give up your dreams as an amateur artist or give up your dreams as a professional buttlicker? God damn it, John Zadar isn't here right now.
We'll defer that one for later.
And channel 2 muted again. Would you rather forever talk like you are cutting a promo for Land Grant Brewing Company with the music and all, or never be quite sure you have pressure? Oh, Christ. You get the point, and I'd rather fucking pimp Land Grant Brewing Company for the rest of my life. Delicious, intoxicating alcohol. How dare you? Moving on. I'm you know what? Fuck this, dude. Lord of the Shits, or hired ballerina.
Hired
would you rather
ballerina? Is that who that
Challenge
was?
shirtless Siggy to an all-you-can-eat.
Yeah, is that right?
Bratwurst contest.
Would you rather challenge a shirtless Siggy Schmitz
Is this
to an
thing
all-you-can-eat brat-eating contest at Schmitz, or have to eat T-bone out of a vat of corn pudding? Oh shit, that's not the right podcast. And 3, 2, 1, clap. End quote. Tyler.
I mean, obviously, I would have the brat eating contest with Siggy because I'd be okay with losing, just like
Yeah.
the rest of the part of the league that lost.
I'm gonna need a bus explained to me.
And Channel 2 muted. And the last fucking question. Would you rather be forced to respond and argue to every hang the DJ big soccer post, or have to host massive match day? End quote. Greg, I feel like you want to take this one. As a former Massive Report podcast panelist.
As a former Massive Report podcast panelist. Sitting alongside a former Massive Report podcast panelist.
Some of the best ones come from there, Greg. That's what I
guess so.
Mike Burkle has never been a Massive Report podcast.
No, that's true. I'm sort of sitting around the corner.
That's true.
You
Match
don't know
day.
that.
Massive
You
match
don't
day.
listen to Massive Report. No one does. Boom.
There's three of them.
Moving the fuck on, shitlords, from user Dirty Slut Pam. With 1 point, quote, the hottest hot take is between my legs. Big Dick Doran, oh yeah, baby. He's the real continuing champion. Fuck you, Morgan, I'll leave my clothes where I like, end quote.
Yes.
We remain off the rails, and on we move to DH Goat with 1 point. Tyler, your
The
thoughts?
funny thing was, I was reading this earlier with my missus,
Yeah.
and then she was like, "Oh my God, they got married! That's so great!" And she read that. She read that, and then she was like, "Oh, well, good for Pam for keeping her clothes on."
That's complicated.
That's such a girl response. Good for you, girlfriend. Moving on from user DH Goat with 1 point. Fuck all you rough lads for making me sing hug me closer, shaving Oregon to the tune of Tiny Dancer for the past week. Hashtag up the finches, hashtag up the douches, end quote.
Capos will capo.
Moving on from user Phil Golfart before the drop even ends with 1 point, sweet Jesus. Quote, hey folks, Philly G here. Last weekend's attendance was not so potent. Believe me, I know, I feel your stares. I will say the new supporters group, whose goal should definitely be to sell tons of ticks and help me hit my bonus, has me confused. Friendship, joy, and ambition doesn't sell tickets, nerds.
That's all caps.
But if new supporters groups based on 80s TV shows and 2017 supporter-designed scarves, here are suggested groups for some of you ACES characters. Morgan, Silver Spooners. John, different PFG strokes. Greg, the Oi team.
That's pretty good.
I'm actually very impressed with that one.
Clark Beacom, Murder He Wrote.
Nah.
Or Murderers Row changes their name to Murders We Wrote. Me, Newfart. LOL. Get it? Like Newhart.
Wow, that's brackets inside of brackets.
Laughs. But for reals, don't think I'm giving up on the ticket stitch already. I've made Jesus today.
You have a hard job, Morgan. Jesus.
I may have few principles, but one of them is that I never pull out. Just ask my girlfriend. I'm already out there pounding the pavement.
Or all of your girlfriends.
And the poontang.
Where I'm concerned. Boom.
All in
roasted.
the name of... And Channel 2 muted. All in the name of Lord Guillermo. PGF. Hashtag... Who's the midfield boss? Hashtag... Okay, I'm done.
God damn it, Morgan.
God, this is an unbelievable train wreck failure of a program. God damn it, Capos. Thank Christ, only 3 hot takes left. Moving on from user Pippa Nips with 0 points. Quote, another cruiser season is upon us, and with it comes a whole slew of questions. 1, when will Crew SC realize that giving up a late lead is as good as losing? Nothing will draw new fans quite like a shitload of ties. 2, will Justin Miram ever realize that dribbling straight into defender will never work out for him? Probably too busy searching his own name on Twitter to figure it out. 3, will Alex Stanek ever stop trying to have conversations with players on social media? 4, will Morgan Hughes finally accept his son Derek into his home?
Probably not.
And finally, when will we figure out where Greg's Aussie accent went? For answers to all the questions and so much more, I can't believe I unmuted you just then. For
Have
all
you been
answers
listening
to these questions, oh Christ! Listen to ACES Radio, Central Ohio's #7 Bills podcast. End quote. Greg Benson, your thoughts?
You haven't listened to the last 2 weeks, have you? Really?
Put another shrimp in the Barbie. Move on.
And Channel 2 muted.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We have a deleted comment that is next, and the only response is from No Breadsticks, quote, I think we would have to have Miram ask him to not be a capo. That's the only way.
Now I'm really curious about what that original comment was.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Second to last comment, AGS Attack is so downvoted I just had to expand it. From Me Hug Shaven Organ. As opposed to Hug Me Shaven Organ. Thank you for that, Greg. You inspired that.
Is that you?
It wasn't me, but good on you, whoever you are.
Quote,
I do not believe you.
as proof that someone does listen to this Bills podcast and actually pays attention to what the panelists, Latin for podcast hosts, are saying, proven by the username, I was sitting next to Stank Lake watching the Ducks, thinking of how to explain to Morgan, a girl's name, how they work, and Chris Doran's soon-to-be stepson Derek playing in his Mendoza jersey with the duck butter. P.S. Morgan asked Pam when the wedding is. End quote. Inside jokes, Mike Burkle, your fucking thoughts.
Cincinnati, move on.
And Channel 2 mute. Last hot take of the evening, folks. Thank Christ. This is, I'll go to Tyler for the response to this, and then we can be done. This is from AGS Attack. Quote, that game was like me doing the Jeff Cunningham. Begins with excitement, but ends in inevitable disappointment and heartbreak. All with a group of men from Chicago playing drums in the background. End quote. That's actually pretty good. Tyler, your thoughts?
Not a bad way to end.
I'm just still waiting for somebody to do the digital crawl.
Fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it. Greg Benson, not to spoil what we're going to talk about here in a second, you have 3 points to give away,
I do have
my
3
friend.
points to give away. I'm
Your
going to
blood
give
book.
away... Who was the thief one? The something thief.
Me stealing banners and shit?
No. I don't mean you, the actual thief. I mean the person with thief.
Oh, Darling Thief.
Darling Thief. Darling Thief is getting one of my blood points. Phil Goldfart is getting one. And Dirty Slut Pam, because why the fuck not?
Fan-fucking-tastic. 3 points given away. John Zadar, you have 2 points to give away. You are not here, so
Ballerina.
Yeah, okay, Tyler?
Do we get to do it?
Yeah.
Jyrad Ballerina, I'll give one away, and you give the other one away.
Jyrad Ballerina.
Hired Ballerina gets a point. Mike Burkle.
Can I give my bro John the other point? John, you want one? John wants the blood point.
Brother John.
Take a point.
Can John get one?
Sure, why the fuck not?
He didn't do shit. He laughed. No, you don't get to do shit, Darby. No.
Sure.
John gets one.
Darby Schnarvis.
As the stand-in fake John Zadar, I award all of you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Where's that button?
That means I get to do it, right?
No.
Good work, John.
My 2 blood points. First one goes to AGS Attack for the, whatever the hell he said. The Chicago people playing drums in the background while you're having sex. That's actually very funny.
That was actually pretty good.
Jesus Christ. That was really good. And the second blood point goes to Phil Goldfart. Nope. There it is. Phil Goldfart gets a point. I really liked the thought you put into the titles of the 80s.
Hey, Morgan.
Yeah, Mike.
You were way better at this when I came here last year.
Thank you very much. It's glad I'm super happy to be back. You know, ain't nobody got time for you or more hot takes. Battle for the fucking grand prize.
Just saying.
And you already know, so let your head nod throughout the outro. Now as the curtains close and it's time to go.
Very long outro, Tyler.
Let's make a toast to all the friends and fam, the folks involved since we started the jam, and to a world full of people who telling you what you can and can't do. Better recognize salty eyes ain't a thing, cause we realize that when we do it what we love, that's the grand prize.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Fan-fucking-tastic. Let's quickly move on to last week's results from prediction. Or do you just want to skip this, Greg?
No, I can't wait to hear this one.
Oh, is that right? You want to hear this? All
Please,
right, so
by all means,
let's
continue.
go ahead and mute channels 2 and 5. Are you still on? Okay, that's fantastic. You guys can do your beatboxing now freely. Greg, last week you said Columbus Cruisers FC would tie Chicago Fire 1-1.
I did say that.
Wow, really?
That was true. You get 15 points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I don't believe in God, Morgan, but I do believe in me. You know this.
Fan-fucking-tastic. John Zadar, a.k.a. the Wet Boy. You said Cruisers FC would beat Chicago Fire 2-1. That was incorrect. It was a 1-1 tie. You get no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. The continuing champion, Morgan Hughes, You originally said that it would be a 1-1
Yes,
tie.
you did.
And then upon realizing that Greg said that, you were like, no, let's go against your original thought. And you're so good at this. Why are you second-guessing yourself? Everyone's saying that. You said 2-1. That was wrong. You get no points. God, mercy, soul. In third place, the continuing champion.
I feel like you should be docked points for almost getting it right and then choosing wrong.
I kind of am. Like John and I are tied for second. I'm giving myself third. Continuing champion Morgan Hughes. He probably comes back from that. He's very good at this.
Not really.
A lot of people saying he's tremendous. Build a wall between here and Ann Arbor. Back to you, Greg. John Zadar in second place, 5 points. God, mercy, soul. And in first place, the Hollywood racist, the unbelievable bastard that has the audacity to wear the Houston Dynamo 1836 jersey in my presence.
Dynamo.
Greg Benson.
Dynamo.
Nobody can prove that's a chant that they do.
Diamonds. Yeah.
Fan fucking
That's all I got.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Love Aces Radio. Moving on to Chicago versus, Crew versus Dynamo. Jesus. Tonight, I just may delete this entire episode. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, if you'd forgotten to press record, you wouldn't have to do that.
Recorded, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Capo.
No, I'm pressing record. Unfortunately, Cruisers FC visit Houston Dynamo this weekend, Greg. You will
Yes,
be
they
there.
do. I will be there.
Would you care to know about the weather?
Yes, it's going to rain. Actually, it is.
Let's check in with Alex Thomas.
Oh,
where's the goddamn thing? There it is.
Are they about to play popcorn?
It's a shame Alex Thomas isn't actually here.
It's going to start. There it is.
Game day forecast, Week 2. Team plays their first away game this year, Saturday night, with an 8:30 start against the Houston Dynamo. The temperature at first kick will be around 70 degrees, 50% chance of rain,
That's good.
and light winds out of the north. Columbus Crew SC is lucky to get this game out of the way early. Summer games in Houston are brutal. They call it the oven, and last year the heat index for Houston home games was routinely well over 100 degrees.
Oh.
Not so much here in Columbus. The temperature at the start of the game will be in the low 20s, with wind chills in the teens. So if you're planning on going out to Zauber, grab your ZZ boots, bundle up, and go Crew.
Oh, I love the name drop. Fan-fucking-tastic. Alex Thomas, everyone. That was... Why is this happening?
Fat fingers.
No, because I have to play through iTunes because the goddamn app is broken, and I always forget to press stop.
That's what it is.
And so it just randomly shuffles, and it randomly shuffled into our fucking podcast intro.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this.
Just like how Dorn randomly shuffles into your bedroom once a week.
Once a week.
I don't know how he
Bullshit.
comes. I don't know how he
I'm
comes
there
back
once
from
a
that.
week.
Great.
Darby, I don't know how he comes back from that, but he definitely waits for Doran to finish before he does.
Darby's microphone is muted, so we'll never find out. Greg, I go to you now.
Yes, sir.
What to watch for? Cruisers versus Dynamo. Sweet Jesus, end this as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm going to talk serious soccer for a couple of seconds because the Dynamo are the only other team in MLS that I consistently watch. They are a very, very good team at doing the one thing that Columbus seems to be terrible at, well, besides keeping a lead.
Roasted.
But handling the counterattack. Crew are sort of built for, as we've said earlier on the show, they are built as a possession team, which Seattle kind of tried to do against Houston last week and got burned on it. Houston does very well on the counter. They don't play a possession game. Their possession stats are probably going to be in the 40s or less. But as we've seen last week, they can hit you within seconds, and that's all they needed to do against Seattle was to do it a couple of times. So I'm worried for the Crew's sake that
Really?
yeah, I genuinely like
That's fine.
serious soccer talk. Congratulations for surviving the 2 hours of bullshit to
Not
get
a
to
real
this
fan,
point.
but that's fine.
2 hours and 13 minutes.
2 hours and 13 minutes. This is going to occupy my entire flight.
Oh, you're going to listen to this? Oh,
I don't know.
Christ.
I don't know what. I mean, what else am I going to do for several hours?
It's
in the
gonna
air,
turn
but-
to shit when I get in.
And
yeah,
channel
pretty
2
much.
muted.
No, yeah. Also bear in mind, I think it's 5 times the Crew have played at BBVA, and they've never won. They've got 3 losses and 2 ties.
And I've been there for
So it's-
67% of those losses. Wonderful.
The Chaz was there for the other one, right?
Chaz tried to dance
Wait.
fight a girl.
You were there for 67% of 2 losses?
3 losses.
3 losses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, math
Try
is
and keep
hard.
hard. Yeah.
Anything else you're watching for, Greg?
Can't say any. Maybe an away fan.
Yeah?
Another away fan.
Oh, two of
yeah,
them.
Yeah,
All right, there are three of them,
That's
actually,
what I meant.
Greg. How dare you?
So you're confirming that you'll be wearing a Crew jersey in there. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. You're an away fan.
It's kind of
yeah.
It's kind of like
you heard it here first.
It's kind of like
folks.
wearing my wedding ring on a date, but sure, I'll humor you.
Is it like that?
I don't know. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. Darby Schnarfus.
Is that what that's like?
What are you looking for this week? Cruisers
Your
FC
reactions
at
are priceless.
1836
Continue to feed
Dynamo.
me.
All right. The team, for some reason, decided it would be good to train in tropical heat in the off season. I think that's going to give them a strategic advantage as Mike Burkle touches his nipples.
Mm-hmm.
So,
would you rather he was touching yours?
No, I would not in any way prefer that. Although I'm actually, I'll say they're ready for the heat. That 3-0-2-3, 0-3-2 record that you just talked about, that's got to break at some point.
Does
it?
All right.
I feel good. We're not doing like score predictions right now, right?
No.
This is just
this is what to watch for.
I feel good. I watch for a team that was picked to perform worst in the West to maybe go back to form after having a surprisingly good
after having just beaten the defending MLS Cup champions.
Yeah, but we beat the defending
and doing so
MLS
on the counterattack,
champions.
you could argue. Tyler, your thoughts? What are you looking for? Cruisers FC versus 1836 Houston.
I'm going to go back to his talk on the counterattack. They do counter very, very well, and I'm hopefully looking for Mensa to be able to step up and stop that out.
That'd be nice.
It would be. Can we talk about how relying on the counter is basically let's hope the other team fucks up and take advantage of it.
It's like if
that's
you take
not
Leicester
that's
this year.
Did you watch the Crew last week?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a vibe. I mean, that was pretty fluky what happened, and it's enough for a tie. I don't think it's enough for a win.
That made it 1-1. Big deal.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'll say this. Of course, the counterattack, it's how Houston primarily wants to play soccer, and that traditionally works very well against a possession-oriented Columbus Cruisers FC squad, led by Greg Berhalter with 7 G's in his first name. What I'm looking for is...
They've multiplied.
I hope the team is super fucking pissed after last week, and I hope that they think as much about 2016 as we did after that game. Because immediately I started saying to myself, no, God, no, please, no, not again. I can't fucking do this again. You can't put me through this again. And I hope that they come out like werewolves with fucking chainsaws for penises and just start wrecking shit, going like, listen, dude, we are going to be a force in this league, and we are going to show you tonight in Houston, live on CW Columbus, Who 53, right after a re-airing of Star Trek Voyager and Dawson's Creek, Cruisers FC laying it to Houston Dynamo.
Right. But the problem is half the team wasn't here for 2016.
It's fine. They know
literally half the team has no idea what happened.
That's true, but even the people that weren't here last year know that it was a giant, huge embarrassment failure, much like the Michigan football program over the last 15 years.
Or the 4 Columbus kids.
So let's start here, Greg, and let's say...
UC Cincinnati against Miami University.
Bowling Green Massacre, is that what you're referring to?
Who do I want to lose more?
Does Cincinnati have a football team? I can never remember. Oh, they do. That's right. That's a team from down
They
south.
recruit out of the county jail, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Kenyon Martin.
Wait, are you talking about the Bearcats or the Bengals?
Just going to go ahead and preemptively mute Channel 2. Oh, he threw his chair, and then he picked it right back up.
Because he's angry but responsible.
So let's go to score predictions.
Yes.
Greg Benson, I start with you, the continuing champion yourself.
Continuing champion.
A.k.a. number 1 handsy boy, Greg Benson.
I am the number 1 handsy boy.
As the Hollywood racist, I ask you...
It does feel good.
Your score prediction of the match, my friend.
2-1 Houston.
2-1 Houston, 1836 Dynamo. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, I actually think Columbus is going to score.
Mike Burkle, your score prediction.
I think it's going to be 2-2. I don't see us really beating Houston on the counter. I don't. I think they're going to get the better of us. Maybe we score a late equalizer is what I think.
All right, 2-2 says Burkle FC. Darby Schnarfus, your thoughts?
The FC comes first. Actually.
I was going to go 2-2,
Yeah,
but now that he said it.
Bitch.
As I think about it, I don't know.
You like that, don't you, bitch?
Does a counter team have 2 goals against us? They can get
Yes.
1 goal. I'm going to say 2-1 Crew.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
going to say our offense clicks a little more.
Nope.
They get 1 back,
Nope.
but they don't have it in them to get 2.
Is there a way to mute half of a microphone? Nope, just the whole thing. Done. GCG bag Tyler, your score
I think
prediction.
it's
my friend.
1-0. I think it's going to be a defensive game.
Yeah, 1-0 to
Crew.
Columbus
Obviously,
Crew.
yeah, for
Ah, fan-fucking-tastic. Where's that button?
Yellow Beach,
Yeah.
Columbus Crew.
There it is. Greg, how dare you take my score prediction? I say 2-1 Houston Dynamo.
Oh yeah, just glom onto my success now.
Crew probably go up 1-0, and Houston strikes back twice. It's probably a Star Wars movie about that.
Probably.
I don't know.
We talk about Star Wars?
Oh, I unmuted that accidentally. My bad. The Empire. Stronger than ever before, Shane Paulson. How dare you. Greg, you doing stand-up anywhere?
Actually, no. I'm going to be in Houston until Monday, so that takes me out of the rotation for stand-up this week.
Fantastic. John Zadar, a.k.a. Tyler from GCG Bag. What does GCG Bag have going on this week?
We're going to Hen Docks to watch the game.
Stay out of my seat.
And the following week, look forward to an episode of GCG Bag TV.
Yeah, can you give us a little bit of a teaser, or do you not know yet?
I know what it's going to be about.
Nipples.
Yeah, it's not going to be about nipples.
It's good.
I mean, he said your nipples. Is it going to be about anybody else's nipples?
You'll have to watch and find out for sure.
What do they call that in the industry?
The end of the show is what they
Teaser.
call that, Darby. Fan-fucking-tastic channel 2 muted. I'm going to take my mouth out back and beat the shit out of it, Greg, for performing so poorly tonight. Want to
As you
thank
should.
all the people that showed up and the people that didn't show up tonight for undoubtedly the worst episode of ACES Radio in a long history of shitty episodes of ACES Radio. Thanks to Salbert Brewing Company. Thanks to Blood and Urine. Thanks to Erica Kress, Kevin Burns, Foot Golf, Larry Turd, and all of you there listening on your iPhones. It's been ACES Radio. And all Lord Guillermo's people said... H-Town. Not H-Town. Columbus Town.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got